Can we have this on repeat in the background? Just for 3 hours? Just do you think that'd work?
I think the podcast would break down with injury.
Wait. Or it could be the greatest podcast of all time. Woo! Yeah! What's good? This is the Fight Talk podcast. Me, Sam O'Reilly. David Hay is not in the building. He's in somewhere where greatness resides. I don't know where, but he's there on his own. Yeah, that's it. Craig, how are we, sir?
I'm very well, mate. I just want to say every single show that I watched over the weekend was great. There was nothing wrong with any of the shows that I watched. The production was all great. The matchmaking was all great. And if you want to hear us slag off stuff on this podcast, you've tuned into the wrong podcast because Joey Pyle didn't have a show on. Fuck you.
Ramez Mahmood, the mathemagician, is here. He's promised to stir up some shit and call loads of people out. Is that true? Is that going to happen?
Joyce, I'm coming for you.
You might have a shot against Joyce, to be honest with you. Been a couple of weeks. It was an eventful one last time out. We got some abuse.
People keep calling me like. People in boxing now just repeatedly call me a cunt.
It's like they know you. It's almost like they know you.
He's mandatory for that GBU title now.
Yeah, the GBU title. I'm coming for it.
Just rolls off the tongue. People look at you and go, "He's a cunt. He's definitely a cunt."
It does happen more frequently than it did before I came on the podcast, to be fair. But that's alright. Real recognise real. Apparently. I don't know what that means.
I won't go into it.
Is that an English thing?
It's a London thing, brother.
Is that a London phrase?
Yeah, real recognise real. It means if you're a little bit, out there, I can appreciate that, Let's we talk about some boxing, or what else do you want to talk about? Anyone called you a cunt this week, Ramez?
No, I'm lovely. Everyone loves me.
Literally no one would ever insult Ramez.
Everyone loves me.
He's the nicest, but getting a bit arrogant though.
A little bit cocky. Things he was saying before the podcast. Wow.
A few more wins and then watch me then.
Let's talk about the boxing. We'll start Friday night. The Hayemaker show. Best thing I've ever seen. It's up there, isn't
it? Really disappointed Roxana Begum wasn't on the show. For me, that was the people's main event.
You just fancy her?
I fancy all the women, to be honest.
Yep. Big up Pink Tyson.
Shout out to all the women out there. The show was pretty poor, wasn't it? Let's be honest.
It was pretty poor. A couple of people said to me, "Oh, you going?" There was no fights that did it for me, and obviously, it's not. I don't want to be harsh. I mean, people have asked me. I believe they'll get better, and I think. Listen, they learned from the first show immediately. They did Indigo, and it was crap, so they moved to York Hall. Straight away, they took something on board, so I'm happy with that. There's a lot more that needs to be done, and just before we mention the actual fights, I just want to touch on the Lina Shadofia situation, right? So I knew 4 to 6 weeks ago he'd signed with Hayemaker Ringstar.
Did they announce it on Friday eventually?
No, they didn't.
So we just announcing it?
No. They sent out a press release yesterday stating all of the fighters and the card, etc. And in Linus's section about his fight, it said, latest Hayemaker Ringstar signing, Lina Shadofia.
I did not notice that.
Exactly. So,
getting out now, actually.
I don't even know if you'll find it. It was in the email to the media. Not that I'm media, but...
why...
So look, this is how it read. Top unbeaten middleweight prospect Lina Shadofia and the most recent signing for Hayemaker Ringstar was involved in a terrific fight. So... why has he not been pushed?
Very strange, because we know that he was buzzing. It was a big announcement. It was tipped as a big announcement. It was like teased as this big thing that was going to be announced, and that was way before Hey Bellew 2. And I kept asking him, I was like, when are these guys going to announce it, or what's the deal? And he's like, don't know. I think they're going to wait till that fight's out the way. And that's kind of all we spoke about it, but it just kind of fizzled out. And then I thought I didn't have the sound on Friday. So I didn't really hear whether they were announcing it or not, and I wasn't really sure in the post-fight if they would discuss it. But yeah, if you're saying that's the first you've heard of it, then
that was the first. That email came yesterday, and it just said that our latest signing. I don't understand how Cody Davis can have a little bit of. Not saying he's not likeable. I think he's a very likeable fella.
Fuck's sake.
Sorry, Craig. But Linus should have been given a little bit of limelight, a little bit.
Do you know what really confuses me is, like, Ramez fights on Goodwin shows, right? He's managed by Mickey Amour. Shout out Mickey Amour, great guy. He doesn't have a nationally watched television channel to push his news or push his product. Hayemaker have done the hard bit. They have a television channel that is free to air, viewed by millions of people. Even a little announcement is going to have a further reach than it would for somebody who's not got a televised platform, but they're not using it. I don't know why they're not using it. It's very strange.
Yeah, because you could have given someone like Linus a quick 2-minute interview on the live TV spot.
That's it. That's all you need to do. And I don't know how you feel, Ramez. If you were in that situation, you've probably been in a situation where you've had announcements that you want to come out with and tell people, but you're sanctioned and you can't do it. So how does that feel for you? Like if you have fight announcements or whatever, is it frustrating?
Yeah, it'll be awkward because as a fighter you get really, really excited and you're just waiting for this big news to come out, and when it doesn't come out the way you want it to, it's what you wait for your whole life. It is a bit of a letdown to yourself. So I do feel a bit for Linus that way.
It's just strange. I can't get my head around why. I mean, he didn't fight on the live portion of the television show. When it went live on Dave, he didn't fight on that.
But he was on the
he was on the,
he was in the sport
they showed him after because the fights went early. Joyce finished in a round. Cody Davis was only a 4-rounder.
There was time to show the knockout.
They showed his fight, which is fine, but I don't know. Maybe I'm asking too much, and it's because how I feel about Linus. I feel he's a great prospect. And I love him. You know, he's a top bloke.
Yeah.
I just don't understand why you'd sign a guy and not throw him down our face. Like, if anything, shove him down our throats. Say this is our guy. This is our guy. I'd rather that than not knowing he's your guy. Do you know what I mean? So, found that a little strange, but
he was by far the standout on the show for me. I think his performance. That Eric Israel's no joke. Like Eric Israel came and fought on a Matchroom show and battered a Matchroom prospect who is now with Goodwin, I believe.
William Webber.
He's stopped William Webber. Yeah.
He's back and he's looking to rebuild his career. And fair fucks to him. That's it's good to get back in the saddle. But Eric Israel's no joke, and he can box and he can punch, and he's in that Michael Ballingall stable down in Portsmouth, which is like being sucked into the Matrix. Like people hear about you, but they never really know how good you are and stuff like that. So I thought Linus did what Linus does. He takes a couple of rounds to figure people out. Did the same against Bailey Dumetz as well. Takes a couple of rounds to feel you out, and when he's unlocked it, it's really hard. It's going to be really hard for domestic level guys to beat him, I think.
Yeah. Especially if he starts stepping through the rounds as well. Then 8, 10, and 10 rounders.
He's always fit. He's never out of shape.
I'd love to see Linus get himself a title shot now. I would love that. Yeah. He deserves it.
I said yesterday to someone who was messaging me, for me, my dream fight right now is for the board to turn around and say, Taylor Jones, you're mandatory for the Southern area is Linus Shadofia. That's what I would love, because the loser will come again, no doubt.
100%.
Great learning fight, and great for us who've been following these guys from their first, second, third fights to have a little bit of a measuring stick. Do you know what I mean? That's what I think. That fight would be a great fight. I don't know who would win the purse bids, but with Hayemaker having their TV station and MTK now doing bits.
Yep.
Hayemaker are scooping up some of these mandatories as well, aren't they?
Yeah.
They scooped up that Matty Askin.
Yep.
They've just scooped up another one. Oh, I can't remember what it is. Shit. Is it? I'll tell you what it is. It's Shinkwin Conroy rematch.
Yes.
Oh, did they pick that up?
Yes,
they did.
Okay.
And I think that further shows the relationship with Steve Goodwin.
Yep. But they're willing to scoop these things up and put them as co-mains, put them on the TV show. So if you get yourself in those positions, like look at Jumani Camero, brilliant guy, man.
Gutted for him, by the way, that he never got to fight last night.
Well, his career's all over the shop as well, and it's through no fault of his own.
Yeah, for people that don't know, he's had the Southern Area title at lightweight for a year, and they didn't call a mandatory. The board didn't call a mandatory. They just sort of let it sit there. So they asked for some voluntaries. They said, "Can we fight this guy for the voluntary?" And the board kept knocking it back and saying, "No, he can't fight." Then eventually he got a fight with Michael Devine for Friday night's Hayemaker show. Devine pulls out for whatever reason. No other opponent is found. And in the same week, Boy Jones Jr. was mandated to fight Jumani for his Southern Area, and Boy Jones is pulled out for that. I don't know what's going to happen with Jumani. It's a really fucked up situation.
But there must be a case where...
Do you reckon that lawnmower was really loud?
Nah, it's alright. The lawnmower's alright. Everybody listening knows you have to cut your grass in the summertime.
But we're not doing it in the middle
when
of
the
the
weather
pod.
is fine.
They should be listening. They should be outside listening. They're getting a freebie here.
Scum. There must be a point where the board have to step in and say, if the mandatory pulls out and Jumani and Barry and the guys in State of Mind are offering, or Goodwin are offering voluntaries, the board must have to give a reason as to why they're knocking them back. Why are they knocking voluntaries back? Unless they have someone else tucked up their sleeve. If they go, by the way, we're knocking back those 3 voluntary options because we've got a second mandatory and we want you to face him, cool, that's fine, I can live with that. But if there's nobody waiting in the wings to take that fight, all you're doing is keeping one of your champions inactive. I don't understand.
Yeah.
If anybody knows the answer, tweet us, please.
You could write it on a postcard and send it to our PO box address.
Glasgow G419LD.
Yeah, close the door. It's fucking loud.
It'd be nice if Jamani can get himself an English title shot now. I mean, if he can't get a defence for the southern area, let's go for the English. That'd be the right thing to do for the board if the post bids, I mean, if the mandaries keep pulling out.
Do you think the reason that they don't do that and the reason that they don't stick people in, alright, if there's no southern area, you're the next guy for the English, do you think the board are tangled in some web of promises that they've made to trainers and promoters and stuff like that? Obviously, I'm not insinuating there's any sort of like underhanded stuff going on, but do you think there's a case of fighter X from 6 months ago was told you're next in line, then he got an injury, so is he still next in line? Do you think they're trying to balance what they've told people and what they haven't told people? Or
it's very possible. It's very, very possible. We spoke earlier about situations with different southern area titles up and down the country. Some that don't up and down the country. It can't be up fucking north if it's a southern area. Fuck's sake. Where does it stop? Where does it stop?
Right down, all the way down. Because remember Bournemouth.
No, I mean up. Yeah, all the way down Bournemouth. But where does it stop up with Birmingham? Because it comes Midlands title, doesn't it?
Yes.
So all of the southern area of the country, as you'd imagine, because the title's called the southern area. But yeah, the promoters all over the place and the different titles and I don't know the different weights of the title. If they have a plan of how this belt is actually supposed to be managed, I guess it's not very clear, because the British, it kind of is mandatory every 6 months or maybe every year, and it's quite obvious that how they do it. But the southern area is completely different between weight classes, up and down.
The mandatories aren't called as often as
exactly
the English or the British are.
Some of them are just never fought for.
Featherweight.
Like, it's really weird.
I think bantamweight is vacant. I think Matty Chanda held his super bantam one for a little while, which is now.
He even he got mandated for the British at one point and still had the southern area, I believe.
Yeah, that's vacant now. So that super bantam one, that's vacant.
Yeah.
Can you make it?
Oh, super bantam, yeah.
You make it all, mate. Don't worry about that. He'll go from bantam to feather to
Dwayne Winters and Martin Hillman fighting for that, so got one eye on that.
Okay, there we go. It's called out. Two people already.
Yeah. They are pussies. You said that before it started.
I never said that.
He didn't say that.
It'll be a good fight, and I'll keep an eye on it.
Where is that fight?
Bristol.
Okay. You're gonna go and jump in the ring afterwards.
Throwing chairs and everything.
Yeah. No, it's a very strange. I don't know if it's because it's the southern area. It's kind of the lowest belt of the boards. Obviously, there's challenge belts and stuff, but it's the lowest belt that you can defend, isn't it?
Do you think it's like an afterthought?
Yes, that's what I'm getting at. You got British, then English, then southern area, and for me, I love the southern area. Some of the best fights I've ever seen were for the southern area. But it kind of feels like if it's there to be fought for, that's fine, but they don't particularly have a plan with it. And that's just, I guess, how Jamani's kind of slipping through the net. That's what it feels like. But you can, I'm sure your manager, maybe your promoter more, can lobby the board, can't they?
Possibly, yeah.
Can't you get Mickey on the blower and say, look, Ramez is sitting here ready to fight for these southern area belts. There's no one fighting for him. Come on.
I think that's what it's down to. I think a lot of people would call the board and request their fights be mandatory for it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, obviously Linus sparkled on that card. The thing about Linus is as well, he's taking the opportunities now, and he's getting some highlight reel finishes, man.
Yeah.
Like that Ashley Bailey Dumet's finish was beautiful, and in that one on Friday night again, like he's throwing that
three-punch
combination,
bam,
man.
bam.
It's ping, 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 and it's just beautifully timed, you know, and it's well measured, and he's catching the guy right on the end of the punches, and he's starting to build a reputation for himself because these clips do the rounds. I shared a clip that I took sitting in my girlfriend's mum's kitchen, I think. It was only a couple of days ago, I should probably know. And it got about 3,000 views. So he shared one that I shared as well, and he got thousands of views, and people started to take notice and go, I've never seen this guy before, but he's the best guy on the card, and that's how you start to spread yourself a little bit. So really impressive. He's he's very happy with that performance.
He should be. Listen, putting himself in a shop window. Well, he's kind of done that, and now he's signed by Hayemaker. It's only going to be up from here. Because someone asked when I said that, they said, you know, is it a good move for him? I don't know if it is, because Hayemaker shows aren't great at this moment in time, which is fair. But I wholeheartedly believe they'll improve. I think they have to. They have to. Otherwise, they're literally a small hall outfit with one name, Joyce.
But let me ask you this: based on their performances, not their likability factor, Cody Davis was given a televised platform.
Oh wait, should we just get the Cody Davis elephant out of the room? Some people have seen it, and I think it actually was a couple of questions. John Bailey wanted to know as well what are Craig's opinions on Cody Davis. So go on, you sum up why the situation. It's not...
Right. This is why. Let me just tell you.
He doesn't know where to start, listen to it.
I don't know where to start. Because you know what? I remember writing the tweet, and I remember all the topics were trending, and I went, Cody Davis doesn't have that much of a following on Twitter. He might actually see this. I don't think I wrote anything too bad. I think my tweet read, Cody Davis, not very likeable, is he? And that's about as harsh as it got, and then I put some hashtags in. So the reason, just to give a little bit of background as to why I thought that, me and you have been to Hayemaker shows before, and I've seen that Sam Jones, who's a fucking wank, isn't he? He just swaggers about like he owns the place. You're not a manager, mate. You're not a manager. He's walking about the place with Cody Davis, and Cody Davis has got like the Mr. T hair.
Yep.
At the time, remember?
Yep.
He had the Mr. T hair and the weird moustache, and him and that Sam Jones were like swaggering about ringside, and I went, oh, who is that guy? Just because his presence was a little bit irritating, right?
Yep.
For me personally, loads of people think my presence is irritating. Speak to my fucking mum.
Speak to Joey Pye.
But for me, I went, oh, that guy's kind of irritating me. He was just like wandering about. Didn't do anything wrong. Didn't do anything to me. But it doesn't mean I have to like him as a person or assume that I will like him as a person. Anyway, then I find out he's a fighter. Cool, no worries. Then I find out he's signed by Hay. Cool, no worries. So he makes his debut on the Hayemaker card. Not his debut, but his debut for them.
Yeah.
Fighting Eric McConzo, who I don't know what the fuck everybody that follows us on Twitter was thinking. Like, they all jumped on a mad Eric McConzo train. Like, this is your time, Eric. You're going to smash him up, Eric. Eric's record's 2-8. He wasn't going to smash anybody up. He might have been in good physical shape, but he wasn't going to smash anybody up. I'm sorry. So he's fighting him, and he was like showboating. He's got the bleach blonde hair with the same little goatee beard, and he's doing all this mad like prancing about the ring. And I just did a throwaway tweet saying, "Not very likeable, Cody Davis. Is he? Question mark."
You said, "Is it just me?" And lots of people. Nope, definitely not just you. He's a bit of a character. Nothing wrong in my opinion.
Fine.
Us Welsh are excited. Someone hashtag Welsh said, "Give Cody a chance." I wonder why.
Right, but there's a few people though that said
he's an arrogant sperm weasel, isn't he? Said Tom Big Bum. Michael from BTR looks a smarmy, smug so and so.
So it's not just me.
End of the day is an opinion.
Right?
It's an opinion.
It's an opinion, and I didn't say I didn't use the phrase sperm weasel, which is fucking glorious, by the way. I didn't use any derogatory terms. I just said not very likeable in my opinion, and then I wake up the next day. Cody Davis has quote tweeted it, not disrespectfully to be fair to him. He said, "Never even met this geezer and he doesn't like me already, ha ha ha," or something like that. Fine, cool, I deserve that, that's fine.
Yeah.
And if you look at the responses on the tweet, some people who know him personally were saying, "You're wrong, he's a really nice guy, he's this, he's that, he's a family man." And if you read my responses are, "Alright, cool, just my immediate impression, but I'm happy to be proven wrong, and I'll be the first to put my hands up if I'm proven wrong." Then, that little melted snowman fuck Gavin Reese moonwalks in like a pile of mashed potatoes, right?
Give Ramez his face out.
And he goes,
you know,
a fucking WBA title. He goes, "Wankers," with the finger up.
Yeah.
I was like, I don't know why you've used the plural. I'm only one person. And Ramez's education and his background there is like, yeah, that's terrible grammar. And then someone else has joined in, and he goes, "Gavin Reese, trainer of Cody Davis, former WBA world champion, goes, I'll knock that cunt out cold." Very eloquent, Gavin. Very eloquent. I like what you've done there. And then I've went, 1 minute you're watching Gavin Reese fighting Adrian Broner, next minute he's calling you a cunt and saying he's going to knock you out cold. And then Gavin Reese's response was, fuck me, if you can't handle the banter, don't step into the kitchen. Number one, Gav, that's not a phrase, mate. It's called if you can't take the heat, don't go in the kitchen, you fucking idiot. So, also, I don't know what your idea of banter is, but calling somebody a cunt and saying you're going to knock them out is generally not considered banter. I fucking love banter. That's not banter. So, how funny is this? We're using a microphone called the Snowball microphone, and that little Welsh midget fuck's head looks like a snowball. So, and then he goes on, and then I was like, I just don't even know what to say about it anymore. I was just a bit confused. I was like,
it's a really strange thing where an opinion can get you offered out by an ex-world champion. You know, it does show as well. You need, like, I tweet a lot.
people read our
People
shit.
read shit, and you know what? More people listen to this than you think do. A lot of boxers
In
listen
Wales?
Some in Wales. Gavin Reese will be phoning you. I'm sure he'll be sliding in your DMs.
Fuck's sake, man.
The thing with me is I didn't particularly agree with your opinion.
Fine.
but it's an opinion.
Fine. You know, if
I don't have to. Like,
you know, if I went, do you know what? Cody Davis looks like a fucking dickhead or something like that. I thought, do you know what? I thought of some really mad shit to say there.
in those 2 seconds, I saw your brain ticking over. And what can I say?
I had to censor myself.
That was a look I see on my student's face when I asked a hard question.
Cody Davis is a dickhead. He's got no skills and his hands look the same as my grand's hands. Fucking idiot or something like that. Then fair enough. I've stepped over the line. All I said was I don't think he's likeable.
No.
I don't think Naz was likeable back in the day before he started winning world titles. People didn't like him. So yeah, anyway, it seemed like a bit of a
overreaction.
A bit of an overreaction from an undereducated man. But that's alright. It's all good. He'll always be looking up at me, even if he doesn't want to. So it's fucking irrelevant.
Yeah, it was very, very, very strange reaction for an opinion. Ramez, have you had any situations like this? I mean, first of all, did he search your name? His own name, sorry, because
he must have searched
you didn't.
the hashtag.
You didn't tag him.
He must have searched the hashtag
must,
or seen
yeah.
someone else write it.
Yeah,
I must have put in Cody Davis on.
You can search your own name, can't
Yeah.
you? Paul Smith is great at it. But what about you? Have you ever had anyone just be a... Oh, you have. I remember seeing an YouTube, an IFL
comments,
interview.
yeah.
Just casual racism thrown in there.
Yeah.
What did he say?
Hang on, let me get it up.
Oh, fucking
Don't get it up in the middle of us, Jesus.
No, but,
It's not that kind of podcast, man.
but-
Who's this fucking commentator on the TV? I'm loving her.
That's Sonny Aluko's sister.
Oh, is it? Aluko?
Yeah,
She's
we've
a-
got the World Cup on if
She
anyone's
is a
wondering.
babe, man.
She is very pretty. She's no Alex Scott. Ooh!
Yeah, I prefer her.
No, Alex Scott, I'm all in.
Well, we'll never fight.
To be honest, I just laugh at him. I don't
So,
care.
what were the comments you had? It was an IFL interview you did with. Who did you do it with?
That was Sonny Dolly, I done it with.
Good choice.
Yeah.
Someone goes, I'm not seeing this guy going far.
But on what basis? The way you spoke after a win?
Not sure. That's just all he said.
Yeah.
And then there was a few other people saying you're wrong. Then he goes, I always knew the Asian community would back this guy up because of his name. You need to stop supporting rubbish. And then,
I mean, Jesus
and then
Christ.
he goes, you can tell just by his name he's gonna be a bum.
Oh.
So because your name is Ramez Mahmood, you're
Yeah.
going to be a bum. I mean, does that... How do you feel about that?
And then
Listen,
there was one more.
Is
There
there-
was one more. Yeah. He goes, someone commented, is he any good? And then the response was, you wish you desperate packy.
Oh.
I mean...
I thought it was funny. I was cracking up.
Yeah, but you handle it like a mature person. Just at the end of the day, it's an absolute embarrassment.
It is.
That these grown men
it's
sit where
disgraceful,
they
yeah.
are. It's vile, and it's such an easy thing. If you're a dickhead, go to race.
But I think people think that's what we do.
No,
Like,
they
I
don't.
think
They
there's
don't.
a-
People that know
not,
us
not,
know.
not racism, but I think people who read some of the shit we write or read people writing back to us, oh, like Joey Pyle, you're a cunt, or
Joe Pyle doesn't know
Cody
his arse from
Davis,
his
you're a-
elbow.
But what I'm saying is, people look at the stuff we write sometimes and think they don't know what they're talking about. Like Joey Pyle said, "Oh, you guys, if these cunts knew anything about boxing," I was like, "Oh, shut up, mate.
I know.
Shut up, mate. What are you talking about?"
He was
So-
on the defensive though. If we give it, to be fair, if people that know us and people that I mean, if you actually did your homework, you'd see we're not just keyboard fucking weirdos. Like, we kind of have a bit of a small following and we have a few people that respect us, but we also don't fear putting out an opinion.
I do know.
No, do you know what?
Sick.
Bollocks to it, mate. Let's sit here and call everyone who is a cunt a cunt. Let's go. Let's name them all.
Who's a cunt? How many
But
times have we said the word cunt already?
I don't know. You called Umar Ahmed a cunt.
Umar
Was
Ahmed.
it-
IFL.
Was it because he's got a foreign name? Maybe it's a little bit of racism there.
Don't see that interviewer going far.
Yeah.
Good.
He's a fanny, man.
No, he is. That's what he is. He's a bellend.
Sonny Donnelly, fanny.
Yeah.
I like Sonny.
Shut up, you.
You're not allowed an opinion. Only us.
You like, yes, alright. You like Sonny. That's his opinion. We
Is
have
it-
to respect that.
Yeah, we can't.
Who else?
Who else is a dickhead? Ramez, throw some names out, mate. Who else
Ramez,
is
who
a
do you not
dickhead?
like,
On the
mate?
top of my head, can't think of anyone to be honest.
Sam Jones from S Jam Boxing. He's a cunt.
Do you know what?
He's a cunt.
He's got a really annoying
He
face.
tips over his own chin. Look at the fucking size of the guy's chin.
Who else is a cunt? While we're here, should we pause it and think of all the cunts?
This is good because
This is a cleansing. Hey,
Let's do it.
you're moving to Scotland in 5-6 weeks,
Yeah, don't tell them when. I'm going next week, so you can never find me.
and in the time you're
I
going,
thought you were going Wales.
yeah,
Not anymore.
he's moving to the valleys.
Mickey Elliott, cunt.
Fucking hell.
Career ruining cunt.
He's a career ruiner. Come on, there's got to be some more. I'm not scared to say him. I just can't think of any.
It's hard because
Richie Gray.
cunt.
Grey weather.
Yeah, Richie Greyweather.
Richie Greyweather. Richie Gray's alright. We'll let him off.
Dean Richardson.
Dean Richardson. Average taxi driver. No.
Yeah, not the
Like,
best
that's
taxi
pretty much
driver. No, let's go back to seriousness for a second.
Oh, do we have to?
Yeah, let's do it. I don't call people cunts lightly. I don't know who I've called a cunt actually.
Honestly, if anyone's offended by the word cunt, we've lost them.
We've lost them.
We're
They're
out.
gone.
We've lost Ramez. He's gone.
Ramez walked out. No, listen, maybe we're quite flippant with the word cunt. I think it's a London and a Glasgow thing.
Very
but
Glasgow.
I don't mean it as derogatory as it could come across. There's not many people I've met or come across in boxing that I really dislike. That's my honest assessment of it.
Yep.
You know, I might throw out a few odd tweets and that about Stewie Hall last night, boring the absolute tits off me.
He's not a bad guy though.
He's not a bad guy. I just don't really enjoy watching him box. That's my opinion. So I think the day you start censoring people for having an opinion or getting really butthurt and fucking sensitive over an opinion, it's the day you need to have a look at yourself and go, am I a bit of a knobhead?
And opinion in sport, I want to make sport great as well. And we were saying earlier that I think we just live in a day and age where everyone's offended by anything.
Yeah.
So,
Exactly, you're right. And I think
It's
the thing
easy
is-
to be offended, isn't it?
But opinions are so subjective in sport, right? So if you're the kind of person, I don't know if Cody Davis did fucking search his own name or he's seen someone. A couple of the people said they lived next to him and he's a really nice guy and I was wrong and stuff,
That's fair enough.
which is cool,
Yeah.
man. But if you're the kind of person who's going to look through all those things and look through all the comments and be offended by it and take personal offence to it and start offering people out, maybe you're in the wrong game, man.
Maybe you need thicker skin.
Maybe you're in the wrong game because you're going to be exposed to media, you're going to be exposed to comments and irrational comments that are derogatory. You just need to suck it up, man.
Yeah.
People slag me off all the time. It's no big deal, man. You just, if anyone insults you personally, like you see those people who insult Bellew, Paul Smith, and they insult their kids or they insult their families.
There's a level, isn't there?
Not cool.
Yeah.
Never cool. But anything else, like insulting your boxing ability, if you 100% believe in yourself and you know you're going in the right direction, you're on the right path, let it go.
I tweeted
man.
yesterday that Messi was shit, right? He's not shit. I'm taking the piss out of his dog shit penalty and the fact that he melts in big games and he's no Cristiano.
This is a boxing podcast.
But my point is, should he care what fat little Sam from Essex has to say?
No.
Not at all. I'm not from Essex, by the way. Sorry. From London, living in Essex, for all the people that told me I sold out. But it should be water off a duck's back, is my point. So if you're getting really sensitive and butthurt, maybe you need to do what Ramez did and laugh at these fucking retards who are bringing up race and
just
pathetic.
keep winning.
Just
But-
keep winning. Just keep winning.
But I guess the counter argument is that boxing is a sport which is filled with people who are defensive, who are from that sort of mentality, and that's where that aggression comes from, that pent up aggression. Like I interviewed Darryl Williams recently. Fucking loved talking to Darryl Williams for 40 minutes on
I
the
love
phone.
Darryl.
And he is an aggressive, angry dude, man. And he's channeling all that stuff through boxing. So I guess the flip side is, if you throw some insults out, some of these guys aren't educated PR machines.
Mm-hmm.
Some of these guys are guys for the street, guys that will have a scrap, they'll roll about with you wherever you are. So I guess you have to take the rough with the smooth. But overall, Gavin Rees looks like a snowman.
Does.
He looks like a snowman.
He's got a big now, hasn't he?
He's big.
Yeah, he's not
big
big now.
Winter was good.
Let's move on to the next. Oh, Cody Davis, he won the fight. He beat Eric McConzo 4 rounds. He did what he was going to do.
Wasn't very likeable.
Michael Venom Page.
Oh, who gives a fuck?
Wait, the reason I bring him up
fuck
because
him.
someone I really, really like and respect, Rob Tebbert, he and I disagreed completely on one point I made. Doesn't mean he's a cunt, just means we disagreed.
Nah, Rob's alright.
He's alright. But what I said was, I'm not really sold on Michael Venom Page in boxing. I don't get it one bit. However, the way he closes the distance, for me, in my opinion, it's not really rivaled. There's not many who do it. And he said I couldn't disagree more. In my opinion, you look at him with his bizarre style, the hands down style, but he's also he's always bouncing on his toes, and he will close the distance in the space of a fucking millisecond. Rob's point was, yeah, but look who he's fighting. I'm talking about closing the distance. Even if he's closing the distance on a heavy bag, he still does it fucking rapid.
Yeah, but
that's it. I'm not talking about anything else apart from the way he closes the distance.
Yeah,
Boxing wise, it bores me and it annoys me.
yeah, but let's ask Ramez. Ramez, what would stop you closing the distance quickly?
Counter punches.
A jab in the fucking mouth.
That's what I mean.
So if someone is jabbing you in the mouth,
he's closing the distance with his hands down there. If you have a quick counter puncher, they're going to get 2 shots in as you come in.
Bam, bam. Of course.
Because he does it quickly as well, it will right onto it.
The weird thing about when he closes his distance like this, not like front on, closing
Yeah,
his
it's
distance.
always from the side.
His feet are always in alignment. He comes in like that, or he does this mad.
You know they sent a
he's
video
always
podcast, right?
He's always in a one line. I'm doing it for your benefit.
Thank you.
So as soon as he eats a big shot, he's well off balance. He's crazy off balance because his feet come in behind each other like a dancer.
Bear in mind though, he has exceptional balance for being an MMA fighter and takedown defense.
The thing is with Michael Venom Page, how far does he want to go while doing MMA and boxing
I don't think he cares about
alongside
I don't think he
one
does.
another?
I don't think he cares about
I
boxing.
think MMA is his thing and boxing is just
Fun.
Yeah.
It's a bit of
little
a
side thing.
yeah.
for
No,
now.
I agree with that. I don't believe there's actually one question about
and he
it.
sells tickets as well, right? So
What is it? A light heavy?
No, super middle.
No, he fought a light heavy last night.
Did he?
Well, he's 170 pounds in MMA, which is
Okay, so he'll do super middle then if he needs to.
if he needs to, but he'll never need to. Will
Yeah.
he? He's never going to fight for a Southern area suit. Can you imagine Michael Venom Page against Cello Renda? Cello Renda's just going to walk him down and put a beating on him in boxing.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So Ramez is smashing the gaffer.
Ramez is fucking
He's not even
wrecked.
drinking.
He's wrecked the place, man.
Yeah. Thoughts on Michael Venom Page? I have no thoughts. It bores me.
Yeah, I'm not interested.
Yeah.
I think it's an afterthought for him. I think obviously it's been a bit of a publicity stunt. I think he came in at a time when he was trying to establish a proper stable, and if you look at the stable that he had, most of those names have started fizzling out, man. Cash Ashfaq, gone.
Matchroom. Willie Hutch.
Willie
Warren.
Hutch,
Warren
gone.
He had MVPs. still
Roxana
there.
Begum.
Roxana Begum.
She's never part of the initial land.
No,
though,
she
she?
wasn't.
She was
it, was,
late.
it was 4, wasn't it?
They two,
Ashfaq,
Joyce,
Hutchinson.
and there was one other.
No, it's the 4 of them, Ben and Page, yeah.
Yeah.
It's a very strange dynamic. David Hay believes he puts bums on seats, I guess. That's the reason he keeps him around. Do you know what I mean? Like,
The atmosphere looked shit there, didn't it?
it didn't look great, but I wasn't there, so I
Because of
can't.
the tables. Do you know why? Like the ring walk area had the tables, and when we were there, the tables were at the other side next to the entrance.
Next to the entrance, yeah.
But having them when Joe Joyce was walking in as the main event, just looked awful, man. It looked awful.
We're going to talk about Joe Joyce. What is there to talk about, really? He beat a guy that he was going to beat. No, you know what I mean?
The guy fell over, man. You hardly even touched him.
Is that anything? Any questions on the Hayemaker bill?
Yeah, there's questions on Joyce.
One question actually on the MVP from Stephen Mock. Thank you for the question, mate.
Show Stephen Mark.
It's on the MVP. 2 fights in 8 months, both 4-rounders against poor journeyman. Given that he's already 30 or 31, at this rate will he even reach Southern area level? Ramez Mahmood.
At the rate he's going at, probably not. He needs to step it up. And we've covered the Southern area topic. If the British Boxing Board are going to mandate anyone, Chelarenda has been sitting on that title for ages now. So let's give Chelarenda his chance. Let's get it on.
Craig, what do you reckon? Do you reckon it's even worth mentioning titles of him?
I don't think he cares. I don't think Michael Venom Page, who is close to the precipice in mixed martial arts, really gives a fuck about the Southern area title. That's my honest opinion. I think he would rather fight nobodies and try and float towards an English title.
I think what they're going to do is they're going to manoeuvre him through the WBC
Yeah.
international or
Yeah.
What, for a world title?
well, get him a world ranking.
In his 5th fight,
And
he'll
then-
fight for a world title.
and then he's now number 2 in the WBC, but he's never had any amateur fights. So
Would you be surprised? Like, I wouldn't be
I
surprised.
think,
man.
mate, stranger things have happened.
These governing bodies that open themselves up and allow themselves. Do you know that the WBA have an international and on WBC have an international title, a silver title, and a silver international title? Like, what's the point?
they've now got
Bronze.
a continental title.
Oh, for God's sake! And an intercontinental title. They do.
What about international?
It's ridiculous.
You can just say words and then say title, can't
the
you?
IBF have got their own youth world title now. And they had an East-West European title. What is this, 1990 World Cup?
The belts look good though. They look exactly like the world titles. If you win all of them,
Yeah.
you've got a nice little collection going on
Yeah.
at home.
No one will ever know.
Exactly.
Question on Joe Joyce from Sean Earls.
First of all, shout out Stephen Mock. Thank you for submitting the question, my man. I don't remember a question from him before.
I don't think so.
So, really appreciate that, mate. We always try and get back to questions, so keep listening, my man, unless you were offended by the word cunt.
Then you probably turned off by now.
Yeah, you probably missed your own question. Sorry about that.
Shawnee Earls.
Shawnee boy.
Love Sean. On a scale of 1 to Mark Damori,
Good scale.
how disappointing was Joe Joyce's opponent on Friday?
He was around about...
I'm going to leave because I can't hear this. Mark Damori was a god. David Hayemaker was average.
I don't know, Ramez. Ramez, talk to me. What do you think, mate?
Mm,
How bad was he?
I still think
PC, isn't he? He's so
I still think Mark Damori was worse, to be honest.
Hey!
I still think Mark Damori was worse.
Mark Damori taught himself how to box through YouTube, is that right?
I've seen worse. I've been to Joey Pyle shows.
You're
Bring on the lawsuits!
you're staying in London, bro, you know that?
I live for- bring them away, moving. I'm here.
Well, guess what? You guys are banned from our shows. Oh, that's one night every 2 years I can't use. Fuck's sake.
Tell him the address.
Yeah, mate, I tell people every show I'll be at. People have. The thing is, the truth be told, we have to be accountable for what we say.
Absolutely.
So, if we're derogatory about people, I actually offered. This is no word of a lie. When Joey Pyle was going off on one, I asked him if we could talk on the phone. I wanted to speak to him.
Yep.
So we could have it. Listen, let's have a discussion, mate. And I'll tell you why I think your show is poor. You can tell me why you think I'm a cunt. We're all grown men. If I say anything, I have to be accountable for what I say. There's messing about and banter and stuff, and you called Gavin Reese a little snowman fuck.
Does look like a snowman though.
But
We're walking in the
I think when you do a podcast, you have to be able to say anything you want, as long as you are happy to say it to the guy's face.
I believe
Cody Davis has a dreadful haircut. It's as simple as that.
Yeah, it's pretty bad. Yeah, I'm of the same opinion. And when you dissect the things that we said about Joey Pyle's show,
It wasn't.
Oh.
It weren't that bad.
so I then asked him 3 or 4 questions. If you haven't sold all your tickets and your tickets are really low, and you know as a promoter your ticket sales are low, and the venue is empty as a result of said low ticket sales, why can I not mention that?
No.
If you have your main event cancelled, the same as loads of other main events are cancelled, why haven't you bigged up the undercard then? Because you've got a guy working for you who does PR. Why do we not know anything about the undercard then?
100%.
If your sound system is shit, and it's not your sound system, cool. If the York Hall sound system is shit, and people are commenting on how shit it is, and you've got 2 ears, you can hear how shit it is. What am I supposed to pretend it's not shit?
Because we want to get media for your show.
I don't understand. Like, none of it was lies. It wasn't like.
All I say is the sound system wasn't that bad Friday, was it?
Nah, it was decent, mate.
I don't know. Very, very strange situation.
People have to be honest with themselves. We're always very honest.
Maybe that's why it kind of touched. It was probably a little bit hurtful because it's probably true.
But if they think that was a massive success, they're wrong, man. And a lot of that is out with their doing. That's out with their control, right? Opponents cancelling, not their sound system. That's not your fault. But don't go about and pretend it was a good show.
Still got to work with what you got, don't you?
Just say we'll learn from this. We'll move. We're going to have a better show next time.
Yeah. It's
the same with fighters. If you fight a guy like Joe Joyce the other day, if I'm Joe Joyce on Friday night, I'm going to go, Joe, would you make it that opponent? Do you know what, man? The opponent was really disappointing for me. I thought he'd stand up a little bit longer. I thought he'd throw more shots.
Yep.
I haven't really learned much, to be honest, but I'm still ready to go on. I'm training hard.
Gotta love that
Fight
honesty,
next week.
yeah.
Why are they not doing that? Why is that like...
Do you know who's a perfect example of this? Lou Smith, who has sent in... I don't know if he was high, he was drinking Red Bull.
Lewis
Lewis Smith has sent in around 38 questions
At least 38.
At least 38. But I commentated on his last fight on MTK. I said a lot of positive things and a couple of negative things that he should work on. And what did he do? He messaged and said, "Thank you for your feedback, gonna take it on board." Fuck me. If there's a way to handle yourself as a man, that's it.
That's the way you do it.
Do you know what I mean? Like, you can't get butthurt about people's opinions. Try and change them. If you can't, you ain't gonna please everyone.
If they're constructive, cool. If it's Lewis Smith should stick to dressing up as a woman.
Have you seen him as a woman? He's a beautiful woman.
Oh, it's brilliant.
Great cheekbones on him.
On Richie Stagg.
This is 2 pods in a row we spoke about.
It's better, that's what I mean. If you just go, Lou looks better as a woman, the bitch.
Shout out Lou Smith.
Then that's insulting and it's derogatory. But if you're constructively going, oh, he needs to work on this and he could do this a little bit better, I don't see why people care. I don't see why they get angry about it. And what was the question?
What was the question? I've got, on a scale of 1 to 10. Oh no, a scale of 1 to Mark Damori. How disappointing was Joyce's opponent? Very, very, very disappointing.
Below Mark Damori?
Yeah, definitely below. Damori would have knocked him out back here.
You've got a Damori. If you've not got a Damori,
I took it down because I put the new telly up. It wasn't a Damori poster, was it? It was a Hayemaker Damori. Yeah, but it was where that second telly is now.
I'll have it.
No, it's gone, nice in there. It's gone, mate. In my opinion, David Hay retired against Derek Chisora, and that's how I'll remember his career. That was his last ever fight. That's all it needs. That was when he retired as the greatest of all time. That was it. Done. Simple. Don't even really know who Mark Damori is.
Okay. How about Arnold the Cobra?
Arnold Gregorich?
Nah, they don't count either. Good judge. They don't count either. Are we done with the Hayemaker show? Anything else? Any more questions? You wanna add anything?
Would you? I want to ask Ramez, because I spoke to some fighters before about this. There was a lot of Goodwin boys on there. You, as a Goodwin, have you fought on one? A Hayemaker show?
I haven't, no.
Not yet. Do you see it as a benefit? Because this is something that really gets me wound up a little bit. Brilliant fight, next fight on a TV show. If you're not on the TV part of the show, does that not lessen your chance of buying tickets, or does the fact that it's a TV show not lessen your chance of doing tickets because people can just sit at home and watch it? I want to know your thoughts on how you would approach that. They
could, but at the same time, it sounds better if you're on a TV show because people who you probably don't know well would think in their back heads, oh, we got a superstar here. It'll make you sound better than you are, and like, no, we'll jump on board with him before he hits the big time. Obviously, most of them won't hit the big time, but to those people, like, yeah, we will do that. So I think it can help with tickets actually.
Bring in casual audience, maybe.
Yeah.
I'd be interested to know anybody who's fought on those shows if it did help or hinder the tickets. Guys like Tom Ansell, Daryl Church fighting one?
He's fought on, not last night, but he fought
Ricky Askew on one.
The last one, didn't he?
Yeah, he knocked Ricky
Guys
Askew
like
out.
that, whether it's good or bad for tickets, because I don't. What do you think?
It's interesting, but also at this stage in their careers, most of the boys who sell tickets, I'd imagine, I might be completely wrong, Ramez, but they would sell to very much the same kind of crowds.
Yep. And every now and then
one or two might jump in. So would it even make a difference? In my opinion, I'm very much undecided as well, Craig, if I'm honest, because it's like, it's on TV or it's on Sport Bible on Facebook, but if you're going to come out and support this guy when he's at York Hall fighting at 6 PM on a pretty standard average show, is it any difference to you than going on a Hayemaker bill where it's a bit better production, might feel like a bigger night out?
Is it misleading?
To who?
To the consumer, to the ticket sales, ticket buyers, sorry. Is it misleading?
The word televised.
Is it misleading to bill that as televised show if you're on at 5:30 on a stream?
No, I don't think it is. The show is still televised. I'm not saying I'm fighting on the televised portion.
Yeah.
That's what I mean. It is a bit misleading to the casual audience because it makes you sound better than you are, but then in terms of tickets, I think that can progress positively.
Yeah, so as long as they're paying him his money, Ramez don't care.
Fair.
He's a mercenary. He's said it. He doesn't care. Bring your money, I'll take it.
But I put on a show. You won't regret it. Buy a ticket.
Matchroom show, we're done with Hayemaker?
Yeah, we're done, man.
Matchroom show, first fight, Arfan and Simon Valili.
I loved that fight.
I enjoyed it, man. It was a bit of a weird one.
Saying it was like, it wasn't really great. It should have been better. I really enjoyed it, man, from a tactical point of view.
Yeah.
It was. I watched it. It was a fight of two halves, really, wasn't it? I think both men will look back and kick themselves a little bit.
Do you know what the strange thing is? Vallely is the ripped monster.
Yep.
Arfan is the bit soft in the middle.
It's not a cruiserweight, is it?
Do you see him at the Wayne?
It's so much smaller. Like, so much.
It's not a cruiserweight, is it?
But Vallely was the one who gassed. And not Arfan.
Listen,
so what does that tell you about aesthetics?
Muscles oxygenise you, man. They
Yeah.
deoxygenise you. They
And
suck
maybe
all that.
Vallely has a bigger weight cut, so
Yeah. Whereas Arfan, it looks like he could go down to light heavy. There's a question about that, if he should go down.
and that's the thing with the 25 pounds between light heavy and cruiser. Arfan Iqbal might be a fighter who performs best at 183, 184,
Yeah.
but that last 8 or 9 pounds might
It's a
not
great
be feasible
point.
for him.
£200 is the cruiserweight limit. Not the limit, the minimum, isn't it?
Yeah.
So 175 is the maximum for light heavy. That's a massive fucking gap.
It's a big jump, isn't
That's
it?
the biggest gap in pro boxing, I'd imagine.
It is.
So people say, could he cut to light heavy? That's basically, essentially 2 stone, right?
What did he weigh in at?
It was just under. It was just under. So it was quite. It was near enough £200.
It's a really difficult situation because
There was easy 10 pounds or a stone that could have come off there.
yeah, that's a stone. Yeah, you could take a stone off Arfan. Could you take a further £9? Is the question.
That's the thing.
Would he have killed him? It's a difficult. Who knows? Who
He
knows
started
what
off at light heavy, didn't he?
Yeah.
he did
Yeah.
when he was younger.
Then he was out for a year, I think, something like that. It was that was an interesting fight. I thought Vallely, first couple of rounds, Vallely dominated, and I thought the commentary was a little bit unfair to Arfan because I thought he won.
I gave him the third. I think.
I thought he won either the third or the fourth. They were both tight, but I thought he won, and they gave them both to Vallely on the scorecards, and I was like, okay, cool. But Vallely is indisciplined as fuck,
Oh,
man.
mate.
Indisciplined
Do you
as
know
fuck.
what I'd
Do
like?
you know what? He should have been disqualified.
He should have, 100%. I don't understand how the ref can say he took 2 points. The final bell of the fight rings. Vallely throws another punch, and then the ref goes over to Vallely's corner and says, "If there was another 20 seconds or 30, what was his words? Another 20 seconds,
5 seconds.
I would have disqualified him."
I was gonna mention that actually. I thought I heard it wrong when I heard it on TV yesterday.
Exactly, that's what the ref said. So, is there a rule that you can't disqualify after the final bell? I don't know how the
How many
fuck it
times did he
works.
fucking put him in that headlock and squeeze that headlock in as well?
And threw the nut in and hit after the shout.
It was a really strange, indisciplined performance. But the strange part was, at the end of every round, at the end of the fight, they were like bumping fists. Like it wasn't like there was horrible. Like,
I think they both
fuck you.
accepted that we just fucking we'll do what we can to win type thing.
Vallely just, I don't. He doesn't go any further for me.
It was a draw. That's so the first question.
Can you imagine Matty Askin fighting him? He'd punch fuck it, man.
Well, if,
Matty Askin would do that to anyone.
Oh.
Any of the
but if it went to
domestic
4 rounds
cruiserweights.
when he can't keep his gloves up. First question from J Mac: Where do Iqbal and Vallely go from here?
It's got to be a rematch, I reckon.
Oh, I don't want to see it. I really don't want to see it. Like, as much as I enjoyed the fight, it wasn't the best like spectacle. You
No,
weren't
it wasn't.
watching it going,
Far from it.
This is, do you know what I mean? But
Yeah.
I did enjoy what it was. But I don't necessarily want to see it again. Arfan will bomb people out. Vallely seems like he gasses, and I don't know if he's got the engine to go any further. I don't know. It's a difficult one.
Yeah, for me, I don't. Vallely has to overcome that sort of level. Do you know what I mean? He has to prove himself. I think he's only lost before that. That was a draw, obviously.
To Gassiev though.
Breedis.
Oh, Breedis, sorry.
Breedis,
Maris
yeah.
Breedis.
Only loss was to Breedis, which is fair enough. We can't argue with that.
Cool.
But
Poor match to make at the time, I reckon.
Oh, yeah.
but Breedis was a kind of unknown Lithuanian or Latvian. Do you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
But I
you
think
never really know.
I think people in the know knew he was a bit of a beast.
Yeah, but I think
How wide were the judges?
I was going to mention that. I think
that
one
Valley
judge-
scorecard is mental.
one judge. I think that's giving him 8 rounds.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The second question was, how the fuck was there a card that had Vallely 4 are drugs used at ringside? So, he won by, in the end, was it 4 or 6 on the scorecard? It was a
That one you're talking about?
Yeah.
It was 96. It was 96, 92, I think.
So, yeah.
So
So,
if-
he
would
gave...
be
No, it was wider than that.
It was 96, 92.
I think if you add the points, it would have been 90.
It was 98, 92, yeah. So, he gave
Fuck's
8
sake.
rounds to 2. What the fuck? Vallely, when he gassed in those mid to lates, Arfan picked up 4 on the bounce. Easy.
Yeah.
I think it was hard to even question it. It was like 6, 7, 8, 9. Vallely wasn't there. And Arfan picked up every single round.
You know the really hard thing for me was watching Arfan because there was like 6, 7, 8 maybe 6 or 7, and he was just rattling in that right and left hook to the body.
He was digging him in.
And I thought to myself,
Digging him.
if you just do that for the rest of the fight, stay out of range, come in, ping, ping, and go back out of range again, you win the fight.
He stopped at 9 and 10, didn't he?
Easy. And then he stopped doing it. He started getting engaged in this war.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, you're negating all this.
Listen, I love Arfan. I'm a big Arfan fan.
guy.
I like him as a bloke. I like him as a fighter because he's raw, and he just feels raw. You look at him and think he'll just have a scrap. Like you said, touching gloves and hugging after the geezer nutted him and fucking hit after the... Didn't give a fuck. He's like...
He's hardcore, but he doesn't train enough.
I don't know if he trains enough.
Well, you can't... No, I'm sorry. You can't train enough.
Yeah.
If you're in that shit... I like him, man. I fucking like him as well. I think he's a good fighter. And we spoke to him. He's a nice guy. I know you've done a few bits with him as well.
Mm-hmm.
If you're in that shape, at that size, genetically, you don't train enough, man. You can't. Unless you're telling me he's got some fucking thyroid disorder, or
maybe he does,
or he loves fucking eating a certain food. But you can't. You see him as like he's not in the best physical condition, and he's a scrapper, and he was in there with a much bigger, much stronger, much aesthetically musclier looking guy.
Yeah.
And he went to the wire, and he got a draw. I thought it was a draw, and
I gave Arfan by a round, I think.
I
maybe.
couldn't argue with that.
Yeah.
So you can tell he's got the skills, but we can't sit here and pretend he trains enough. He doesn't.
Yeah, no, I understand your point. I do. It's a difficult... Forgive me for forgetting who asked me, but someone said, would he be better suited at light heavy? We've touched on the reason we imagine he isn't. But he holds himself with these big guys. He sparked Waddy. Valili much bigger than him. And we know he's sparred Tyson. He was Huey's sparring partner for the...
Constantly. He's always
he's in and out of those gyms. So he handles himself with big men. So I don't think he particularly cares about that. But could he be in better shape?
Well, there's no. That can't be a question, mate. Of course he can.
No, but what I'm saying, but did his cardio go? And I'm not talking about what his body looks like. His cardio was still there. So does it matter what his body looks like if his cardio hasn't suffered?
Are you really?
Did he start slow because he was nervous about 10, or was it because Valili negated him?
Or was it a plan to let Valili gas?
But Valili's never been that far, so it was a bit of a risk not thinking that he'll gas.
But Valili gassed over 6 against Blazeman Dudo or whatever it was called.
Yeah, Blazeman Dudo. Yeah, it's a difficult one. I don't know what goes next. Maybe another... I can't think of any English level competitors at Cruiser, but...
Chris Bellum-Smith.
Bellum-Smith's a good guy. He picked up another win yesterday.
Isaac Chamberlain.
I like Chris. I've known him from the amateur days. Nice geezer.
Yeah.
Isaac actually tweeted he would
mash them both up.
Up.
Mash work on the...
Yeah. Which is... Yeah,
he would.
He'd
beat them both.
He's a small cruiser. He's a very small cruiser.
He would beat them both.
So...
No disrespect, just an opinion. He'd beat them both. Looking forward to seeing Isaac get back out at some point, hopefully.
Yeah, man. I want... See, he's training hard, isn't he? Isaac is out there training hard with his new coach, and there's a lot of shit going on behind the scenes that will be sorted out soon enough, I'm pretty sure. What was the next fight? Was Charlie Edwards next?
I think Charlie Edwards was next, yeah.
Mate, I am on the Charlie Edwards train. I'm not going to lie. I thought he looked fucking superb. I've not been sold on Charlie Edwards, right? I'll be honest. To this stage, I haven't been sold on him. Everyone with a fucking pulse can see he was thrown in too soon with Casemiro
100%.
on the Brook undercard for Golovkin.
Yeah,
it's without debate, in my opinion. It was that fucking early for him. It should never have happened. He shouldn't have relinquished his British title when he did. He's kind of fighting English level guys or British level guys anyway. Nelson could have fought him for the
That could have been a British defence.
Exactly. Kind of irrelevant when you consider how well he looked last night.
Yeah.
You know, he put his shots together well. He's moved away from Adam Booth. He's moved up to Sheffield. He took himself out of his comfort zone, and I think he looked phenomenal. I mean, the way he put them shots together, that uppercut, the first one that dropped him,
blinding
was a
shot.
thing of absolute beauty.
quick, so quick.
And I like the little bit of arrogance he's now got with him. I'm not mad at that. If you're backing it up, I'm not mad at that.
Sometimes you need that bit of arrogance. The thing that does me with arrogance is that when you do it every single time.
Yes.
But every now and then you can't knock it too much.
There's two things about Charlie Edwards that kind of confuse me a little bit. One is the route and what is he trying to achieve, and he's got all these like WBA international belts that he spoke about earlier on. It's kind of confusing for me because he's a British champion. He could have fought for the European title, didn't. Could have defended his British against Matty Chanda, didn't. So the route kind of confuses me, and what their aim is and what their
route,
path is.
I think the route is all based around getting the WBA ranking to get that fight with Kaliafa. Yeah.
And the other thing about it is, he looked fantastic last night. Would stepping in against Cal Yafai be making the same mistake that he made against Casemiro?
But how many fights ago was that?
But it doesn't matter who's he fought. Who's he fought?
He's had good solid wins, but not a world ranked
Let's have a
win.
look. Let's have a look at who
He's
fought.
boxed Ian Butcher, good solid English level.
He fought someone. He fought someone on a next gen show, and I remember
Scottish, by the way.
Craig Derbyshire.
Derbyshire. Now
That's
that
nonsense.
was
That's
nonsense.
Craig Derbyshire.
Yeah, agreed. That was ridiculous.
Boxed Ricky Little, who wasn't a great fighter.
Is this all just from memory?
Yeah.
Fucking hell.
So he fought Georgi Georgiev, 3-4-1.
Georgie Georgiev. Is that who
beat?
Jack Hughes
That's
just
who
beat?
Jack Hughes just beat.
We all know he's got the biggest punch in the super flyweight division.
Not in that fight, never. Ian Butcher was 16-2. Fair.
He won every round.
Craig Derbyshire was 5-22.
Yep, that was a pathetic, completely
And
pointless.
then Ricky Little and Anthony Nelson knocked them both out. So
Andy Nelson and Ian Butcher are solid wins, but not wins that justify a world title shot.
yeah, but I guess there's an argument that Anthony Nelson justified a world title shot for Jamie Conlon. That's who he beat before.
But he's been out since then, though.
Yeah, but I'm saying that was the
in
thing
general,
that
yeah, Conlon beat
propelled him
yeah.
to a world title
Yeah.
shot before my man Jerwin Ankahas.
It's really hard to know what constitutes deserving a world title shot these days. If you look at Cal,
Show me the money.
you look at Cal, right? So Sho Ishida, it was a very good win, but listen, he's beat some names that Charlie hasn't even been in with. I get your point. The Conceptions and guys like
And
that.
he's moved up, right?
Yeah.
So Charlie's moved up recently. So if all of those fights that he'd had were at the same weight, then he's maybe redeemed himself or whatever. But they weren't. He moved up after Butcher.
Aren't they fairly shallow divisions?
Not on the world scene.
Not on the domestic scene, yes, but not so much in the world scene.
I tweeted last night. I can see Charlie Edwards challenging Cal Yafai on the next AJ card.
Cal Yafai beats him.
Yeah, convincingly.
I think he'll have moments, Charlie Edwards, but I think Cal Yafai
He'll have moments early.
Cal Yafai's naturally that size. He's strong. He's powerful, and he's done it. He's been all over the place and done it. Charlie Edwards has only fought in the UK.
Does that have a bearing?
I think so. It's experience, it's world level experience, so it prepares you for that sort of contest.
You could argue that he's been around the world as an amateur, but it's not the same, is it?
Yeah.
Beating Prince Patel as an amateur is.
He won 4 of their 5 fights, didn't he? Against
Prince
is that
Patel,
right?
Prince Patel, what's he doing?
Is he going in the World Boxers Super
He's set up
Series?
that rematch.
WBO number 10 now.
Is he?
He is. He's WBO number 10.
Can I tell you a story about Prince Patel? So I was in the gym, in West Ham gym, doing interviews, and he was in there absolutely slagging the WBO.
You, Ramez, he was slagging you, mate.
He was slagging the WBO European title.
Right.
Because he was saying that Sonny Edwards had it, and he was slagging the title, and his very next fight he fought for it, and then sort of laid it down as if that was a big feather in his cap. So.
I've sparred him, Prince Patel, a couple of times.
Did you get on with him?
Yeah, in person, he's a completely different person, Prince Patel.
He is on camera.
Than he is on camera, yeah. So at the times I've seen him, he's been alright with me. It was me, him, and Ashley Sexton sparring together.
Is he a good? I mean, listen, it's hard to not take the piss out of him because he leaves himself open for it.
Yeah.
Because you look at who he's beat as
I think
well.
that's what he's going for, not with the hungry wins, but the way he reflects himself on camera.
Do you think that is? Do you think that's his? He's like, listen, if they're going to pay to see me get beat, they're still paying.
Yeah, I think that's what it is. And as we mentioned earlier, with thick skin, I think he's got thick skin where he can handle it.
Yeah.
I mean, how far would he have gone without that initial IFL interview that started him off? Would he have ever got?
Did you watch the most recent one with him and Coogan?
I did.
Do you think it was set up? I've heard a couple of people say it was set up. I don't know if Coogan would have stayed as calm as he did if it wasn't set up.
I'm not sure because there seems to be some genuine animosity between Coogan and him now.
It's a strange one.
Because Coogan still seems a bit pissed off about it.
Yeah, it was a strange one, but it got the reaction they wanted. Sonny Edwards then immediately responded and
from Kiev
and stirred up. So maybe. What do you reckon, Craig?
On
Prince Patel interview with Coogan. Was it a setup?
it's very hard. Like, it's kind of hard to understand why you'd be that much of an arsehole. Do you know what I mean? Without, like, Coogan's went there and he's tried to give him some time, and there was conversations that Wingy was going to go down there, Don't mind Wingy, by the way. I think Wingy's alright.
Yeah.
There was conversations Wingy was going to go down there and do it. So obviously the interview itself was in the pipeline for a while. I don't know, man. I don't know where. It seemed to me as though Prince Patel was going really far, and then he tried to pull it back and make it jokey because he thought he went too far, and then he went really far again, and then he tried to pull it back a little bit, and it just seemed a little bit weird, man. It was like,
that's why a couple of people think it was a setup, but
I think a lot of times he says it in the moment, but a lot of times doesn't really mean it. Because when I speak to him one to one without the camera, I think he does. He doesn't never say anything to me, but I feel like he does regret some of the things he does say.
Do you know? Was it you that said it to me? Romeo is back.
No, he's back. Guess who signed him?
Sam Jones.
Romeo's back.
Jones.
Yeah.
Is he going to be a Hayemaker boxer?
Who cares?
And now Sam Jones tweeted that he's not going to be a Hayemaker boxer.
He's not going to be a
and
Hayemaker.
he's
Is he going to get a license? How do we know he's going to get a license?
What's he been doing for the last 3 years?
Nothing.
No?
He used to be trained by his dad and he made him go out in the dark.
Not
push-ups and
anymore.
shit.
Well, I'm a Romeo from back in the amateur days, from being 12 years old. He was a little tank. He was an absolute beast. The henchest 12-year-old you're ever going to see in your life.
Because his dad was in the army or something, right? And he used to train him like army standard shit. Like, it was intense. Martin from a New Age Boxing podcast interviewed him, and he said it was a kind of weird. And like, it was weird, man. He was talking about his dad's training stuff, and his dad was getting involved. And I don't know, Martin, I don't want to misquote you, mate, but the interview is on there, I believe. So we can probably find a link to that. But yeah, kind of intense sort of father-child partnership, I believe.
I think his dad was quoted as saying he's never in his life, this was a couple of years ago, has eaten a piece of chocolate.
The dad hasn't.
No, Romeo.
Oh, Romeo hasn't.
He's never eaten a piece of chocolate or never had fried food or something like that.
He ain't sponsored by Cakes and Shakes, is he, Ramez?
I can make the link up.
Yeah, weird. This is kind of irrelevant, and it seems like a bit of a desperate. It's a bit of a desperate ploy. A guy who's not fought in 3 years, who used to be controversially known. We'll just pluck him out of thin air.
He had a thing with O'Hara Davis, didn't he?
Yeah.
It was O'Hara, yeah. I couldn't remember if it was O'Hara or Prince Patel. But
Was he good?
Who's that?
Romeo.
Very strong.
Yeah.
Very, very strong, but
could he box?
box a little. He could box a little bit, yeah. He won a few national. We won a national title as a junior in the amateurs. Never really followed him too much as a pro, so I can't really say too much as a pro. Boxing, we prefer that he's about 5'3" or 5'4", so
You can see it.
super banter me.
You can see what you want.
Alright, next fight, McDonnell Stuart Hall, 12 rounds of McDonnell winning. I mean, it was what it
Do you know
be.
what? I had that a lot closer. I had it 15-13, the same as the judges.
I flicked over to the football for a few rounds, probably most of the fight. I love the McDonald's. I like what they stand for. I really do. I don't enjoy watching them. And Stewie Hall, I would rather stick my head in the oven than watch Stewie Hall again.
Wow.
Yeah,
Fuck's sake.
mate. How many Haskins fights?
Yeah, but I was kind of the same. I was like, oh, this fight might be shit.
Paul Butler fights, just people that I'm just like, fuck me, I'm nodding off. Paul Butler and
No, I thought it'd be really shit, and then my girlfriend started talking to me about buying furniture, and I went, put the Stewie Hall fight on. Fucking get it on.
I'd rather look at an IKEA catalogue than
And
watch a Stewie Hall fight.
Would you? I'm the opposite. So I watched it and I thought McDonald started really well. And then he got into this weird dog fight, and there was like Stewie Hall was catching him with some
Yeah, there were
clean
times where
shots, man.
he was catching with a lot of left hooks, wasn't he?
Yeah. Same shot over and over again.
In between combinations, throwing that left hook in.
Yeah, but it was weird because Hall always looked a little bit unsteady the whole
Yeah.
fight. It was like maybe like an injury or something. I don't know what it
Stewie
was.
Hall
but
is at least 54 years old.
yeah, that's
That
true.
might not help.
That is true.
It doesn't help when you're that old, and you're generally the people at lighter weights tend to finish their careers a lot quicker.
Yeah.
You don't go into your late 30s.
Don't get me wrong, I respect. Listen, the man's been around a long time. I'm not set. I don't enjoy watching him box.
Yeah.
That's-
Whatever happens, if he retires now, he retired as
he should retire.
has
innit?
had an IBF
He had a
title,
world title.
and I think it's time for him to retire. I think she retired after the Paul Butler loss.
You know what? A guy like that nowadays might never become a world champion. Do you know what I mean? If
Yeah.
Stewie Hall started his career now with the skill level he's got now, he might never have become a world champion. So it's a massive achievement. And yeah, I think it'd be time to bow out. I also think Gavin McDonald's good. Like, he bashed up your thigh. I thought he would bash up your thigh as well. Gamal your thigh. But last night he showed he could have won that fight a lot easier than he did. Do you know what I mean? He made it a lot harder on himself, and he was cut up and bashed up a little bit himself. So He has to, for me, try and improve his discipline a little bit. Stick to the game plan, because he could have made that a lot easier for himself, and he didn't.
Do you reckon it could be complacency? He won the early rounds. I thought, I'm boxing well here, and just switched off.
Could be Vallely style.
Yeah,
could be
very possible.
To Sam, best wishes, David Hay. To Charlie and Jaden, best wishes, David Hay. To Sam, best wishes, David Hay.
Well, you just commenting on
How many wishes did he have to give you?
Many best wishes.
best wishes. Yeah.
Should we have a moment to play a bit of
Bit of what?
you know what?
Ain't no stopping us now.
Again?
Always.
Oh,
This is this week's.
We've gone from Rocky to this.
who's that? Ashford and Simpson? No.
No, McFadden and Whitehead.
Ah.
Rocky 2 was on telly last night. Watched it. Dog shit film. Stand by it.
I like
Absolute
Rocky.
shit. No.
But I like most things, so.
You're too nice. You are too nice. Training montages, amazing.
I do that.
Everything else, the acting, the story, everything else, horrific. And nothing worse than the boxing scenes
I
themselves.
had a little routine before my first 20 amateur fights where
Yeah.
I used to come home from school, because this was when I was younger. I used to come home from school, I used to go up, I used to pack my kit, put it in my bag, come down, I used to watch a Rocky film, I used to rewatch the training montage about 3 times, I'd have a bit of food, and go to the fight.
Go to the fight. Did it work?
Well, it worked most of the time, yeah.
Most of the
What was
time.
your amateur record?
From top of my head, I can't remember, I had about 35 as an amateur, I won about 27 of them, something like that.
Okay.
Did you fight any standout guys that either are well known now or are not, but you thought you shared the ring with and you thought, yeah, he's fucking good?
I think the best one I boxed as an amateur was someone called Gary Cooley. He's signed with MTK now, I think he's 4-0, I think he'll go far.
Where's he based?
He's Irish.
He's Irish.
European champion as an amateur. I think he's 4 or 5-0 now. He'll go far. Best one I boxed.
What about you? Who's the best you box in the amateurs?
Basically, the best I boxed in the amateurs was Del Greg.
Del Greg.
Good scrapper, Del Greg.
Del Greg would smash you up
Del
in a
Greg would
boxing ring.
fuck me up. That's the last podcast.
Well, me and Isaac Dogbo actually were always 1 weight apart in
You don't want
championships.
to fight Dogba?
Yeah.
Fuck that.
Take a back seat.
Yeah, so it was always 1 weight apart, so I swerved that one.
Who was the next fight on the card? Mr. Ritson. They got that wrong, didn't they?
I think I tweeted that actually.
Ritson should have closed the show. But Lewis Ritson scares me,
Beast.
and I'm 400 miles away. Like,
Yeah.
I don't want to get in the ring with that man. I don't want to spar with that man.
I was actually on ringside, as in 2 rows down when you boxed Scotty Cardo.
Oh.
So
God.
Could you hear the fucking gloves smashing off
I
Cardo's
could,
face?
yeah, I could hear the shots. Like, yep, he's a beast.
Did you get hit with any parts of Scotty Cardo's soul as it was punched out of him?
Some of his skull, some of his
Oh
soul,
my
a
God.
couple of teeth.
That was bad, man.
That night I got caught with Lucas Brown's blood.
Oh, did
Oh.
you? Lucas Brown's blood on the chin.
Listen, Lewis Ritson is boxing. And like,
Yeah.
if you want to watch flashy stuff and intricate stuff, no worries, man. But that won't grow the sport. That won't bring casual observers into the sport. Someone like Lewis Ritson is going to grow the sport. Same as a Joshua, I guess, on a much bigger scale. He goes out there and he goes to fucking war every time, man. And if Highland was up for it, they would have stood there and traded in the middle, and it would have been an absolute war. He wasn't up for it. Scotty Cardo came out and put it on him.
Which I respected for trying. Mate,
Fine.
he tried.
But he put his gloves up and he soaked it up. He knew what was happening and he used that basic amateur defence, which was beautifully tight. Second round, he just fucked him up, man. Like, he's an absolute machine. Joe Murray, who I've always liked, Joe Murray,
Yeah,
done him in the
he
first
got
round.
bashed.
I think Scotty Cardo had the right idea, but he wasn't a big enough puncher
Yeah.
to pull it off. Because I think
I mean, listen, what style beats Lewis Ritson? You have to be the most beautiful boxer that you can somehow withstand this fucking steamroller
I
coming
think
at
Scotty
you.
Cardo had the right idea. If he was a bigger puncher, he'd come out, hit him hard, and gain respect early.
Do
But
you reckon?
Scotty Cardo wasn't the big enough puncher to do that.
Like, I looked through the British scene this morning, right? Because we spoke about the Ricky Burns fight, right?
Yeah.
You said you'd like to see it.
Yep.
I think Lewis smashes into
Ricky Burns
smithereens.
won't be able to keep him off.
A lot of people don't believe that you put Ricky Burns. Eddie Hearn doesn't need to put Hearn in with Ritson.
A lot are
Fucking
saying
Burns in with Ritson.
A lot are saying Tommy Coyle and Lewis Ritson, and
No.
I love Tommy Coyle. I like Tommy Coyle, but
Ritson will abuse him and take that
Yes.
I
Commonwealth.
don't want to see that.
You don't want to see it.
I don't want to see
I-
Tommy Coyle.
I don't.
Why?
For me,
I wouldn't.
Coyle's at a high point in his career. I'd like to see him have like another win. I think Ritson vacates the British now anyway and goes on to European level. I'd like to see Coyle fight for the European, but not fight Ritson, because Ritson would smash him.
Hang on, here's one I like.
Oh, you're looking through the list.
Give it a year down the line. Joe Cordina.
See, Cordina, I'm not convinced he's going to stay at light. He's a super feather, isn't he? But he hasn't had to make championship weight yet, has he? Because he's still learning.
But he's had a WBA whatever title, which is down lightweight.
I guess it's a weird one. I think Ritson against Crawler.
Yeah.
I like Ritson Crawler. That's my next.
Rob Tebbett sent me that last night. He said Ritson Crawler.
Oh, did he? Great minds. Did you see that? Great minds.
Barnes,
Luke
Ritson
Campbell.
Crawler. Luke Campbell's too early for Luke Campbell.
Yeah. You reckon too early for Luke Campbell?
No, I think it's too early for him to fight Luke Campbell.
Oh yeah.
Luke Campbell will fight Mendy for the WBC title and probably win.
Yeah.
Ritson's
is a bad motherfucker.
Just remember, Richard Commey's coming for the WBC as well.
Yes.
Shout out Richard Comey.
Yes, shout out Richard Comey. Do you think it was very weird that they had Ritson before Kelly? Because I found that strange. Didn't he sell 1,200 tickets personally?
I thought it was useless. I thought it ruined the atmosphere, especially with not even just like obviously ticket numbers are one thing, but when you consider the styles of fighters and the reaction it's going to have on your audience, it was a bit of an oversight.
But I think in saying that now, saying that in hindsight, I think beforehand, would you have said let's put Ritson before Kelly, because Kelly's meant to be the big superstar.
I assumed it would be Ritson after Kelly. I thought Kelly would be on first. I text you boys.
You did, yeah.
Is it Kelly next? And he went, no, it's Ritson next. And I thought,
I think Kelly's getting the bigger push though, isn't he? So he's going to be the.
Do you think?
I don't know anymore.
Do you think the Adam Booth effect may have swayed Eddie to a little bit? Not give him more props than he deserves, because I like Josh Kelly. But do you think the fact that Adam Booth's with him and Adam Booth is an esteemed trainer for years and years, and he's singing his praises, do you think that might be the reason why he might be given a little bit more of a push than Ritson?
I think just because Kelly's the Olympian, Kelly's the one that's expected to be the pay-per-view star of the future. I think that's why he's just getting the push.
Listen, I like Josh Kelly, as everybody knows. He's the best looking guy in British boxing, man. He is, apart after Ramez, he is the most handsome fucking guy in British boxing. And I've interviewed him a couple of times, and he's a fucking gentleman. He's a really nice guy. He's been really generous with his time for me.
I want you to interview Ritson now.
Yeah, me too. Which I appreciate. But if we are looking at the world scene at welterweight, every single world champion knocks him out. Every world champion.
Every single world champion is a beast.
That's
now,
what I mean.
Now that Jeff Horn is out of the picture,
listen, man,
actually all beasts. There's no way.
Get that motherfucker in the sauna, lose some weight, and if he can go down to light welter, celebrate, because he's not beating any of those champions for the next 5 years.
He's not making light welter.
No, well, yeah, but he's not beating Terence Crawford. He's not beating Errol Spence. Keith Thurman could come out of his little hiatus next week, train for 6 weeks, and probably beat him because he's an elite fighter.
I think the hope is that the rest of them will move. I think Errol Spence is probably tight at the weight. He might move up in a couple of years.
Weird because he looks perfect. He
He
looks really good at the weight.
First round knockout last night.
Yeah.
A question on that from Robert Edwards. I think this might be the first from him as well. So thank you.
Nah, he's been here.
Is he? I'm a little bit pissed.
Put walk in.
I'm a little bit drunk. I won't
Also,
lie.
the thing I love about Lewis Ritson
Apologies.
is that he's come from the small hall scene. He knows the
Yeah,
struggle.
it's superb.
He knows how the struggle saying things. He nearly gave up the sport. So
To get a job in a factory or something.
yeah, and then the British title come along.
Robert Edwards asked, how long can Matchroom keep Pretty Boy Kelly's flaws hidden?
He was getting caught. The thing that got me last night was I've always been a big fan, but when a guy, like, you have to remember what Chris George is, right? Chris George is effectively Reynold Quinlan, but at a lesser weight, right?
Yeah.
Never fought anybody
Outside
on
of
the
the
world
Southern
scene.
Hemisphere, really.
Quinlan beat Daniel Gill.
You did, yeah.
This Chris George beat Jack Brubaker, who's like a world title, world fringe, world contender. They're probably at a very similar level in terms of where they're at. Now, if Josh Kelly is getting caught with left hooks, a lead left hook.
There was a weird phase where he got caught with a left hook, and I thought, okay, he's going to defend it next time, and he threw the same left
shot.
hook, same way, and caught him again.
A lead left hook. He's leaping in with this big left hook. Bang! Telegraphed it.
They twice in a row in about 10 seconds.
Kelly ate them both. Bang! Bang! Twice. He was getting caught on the inside.
Do you think a bigger puncher could give him some serious issues?
Man. If you watch Terence Crawford against Jeff Holland, man, Terence Crawford would eat him up. There's no doubt. Absolutely no doubt.
But why at 7 fights are we even putting him in world
And
bracket?
he's only 24
That's
as
not
well.
our choice.
So
That's not our choice.
You feel like it's been...
That envelope's being pushed by Adam
that's what I was
Booth,
about to
by
say.
Eddie Hearn. We want to move on. We want to do this. We want to do that. Oh my goodness! The World Cup, they are scrapping.
Was it popping off?
Nemanja Matic is going toe to
Go
toe.
on, Matic.
got the worst angle out here.
Costa
Go on,
Rica don't fuck about. I think someone just got a crack right in the mouth.
No, they ain't not throwing punches. This is Serbia, Costa Rica.
I ain't fucking
It's
with those
popping off.
Serbians, man. No,
No
way.
way, mate. Do you know who I'd like to see Kelly in with? You know, like a Rios, Brandon
Yeah.
Rios, someone like
Yeah.
that. I think he needs
Someone that'll be in his face.
He needs a couple of steps before he goes to...
I don't want Rios to take any more punches to him. Rios should just
Yeah.
enjoy
Rios
life
is
right now.
Pretty much done.
Rios is very punchy right now.
Yeah, I don't know. Where'd you go if you're Kelly next? Who do you put him in with? I think you need a couple of fights fringe world level then if you're going to...
Yeah.
You know, or European. Who's the European at welter? I don't know. But there's got to be some more learning fights on the step up. You can't just keep...
Which
putting-
domestic fighters do we have at welterweight?
I think they'll skip domestic. I really do.
You got your Bradley Skeets. You got your
That'd never get made.
Bradley's a horrible
Frankie
fighter
Gavin.
for anyone, I think.
Frankie Gavin.
Frank Gavin's
Eggington.
Frank Gavin's been calling for it.
Eggington's not a bad fight.
Gavin's fighting the European boy, isn't he? That bashed up.
Fucking Gavin's going over to Bilbao to get mauled the same way Bradley Skeet did.
Johnny Garland.
Is he not past that level already?
Would you put Josh Kelly above Johnny Garton?
Yeah.
Garton hasn't had the opportunities, has he?
Garton's pretty one-dimensional. I like him. He's good, but he's pretty firmly domestic level. I wouldn't mind seeing him fight
Conor Ben.
Conor Ben.
Listen, he'd smash up Conor Ben.
Uh,
Anybody that moves.
Anyone that cracks, anyone that comes to
Yeah.
fight. Ritson beat him in the amateurs, right?
Yep.
So look at the style already. I'm guessing his style's changed in the fucking however many years it is since they fought. But someone who's going to pressure him and actually throw a volume of punches that are going to concern Kelly.
I saw a poll come on Twitter the other day, and they go, "Who's a better prospect out of Eddie Hearn's?" Can't remember all the names, but one was Kelly and one was
Buatsi, surely.
one was Yulusinov,
Okoli.
and
I'd say Buatsi.
I think Kelly had about 52% of the votes over Buatsi and Yulusinov.
See, he's flashier. He
Yeah.
catches the eye more. But I'd say Buatsi out of those four.
Listen, mark my words. Yulusinov v Kelly happens for a vacant title.
Do you reckon?
Yes, I agree with that.
Matchroom wins all the time.
I agree with that.
I can see that.
Yulusinov boxed
keep
well.
it in the
I
stable.
remember watching Yulusinov against him in the Olympics, and Yulusinov won it fairly
He
comfortably.
beat him easily, didn't he?
Yeah.
He beat him easily.
Main event.
What one? Oh, Josh Kelly.
Josh Kelly. Was that a main event performance?
Was it? There was another fight on, no? Was there
Oh,
another-
Glenn Foot.
Oh, fuck that. Yeah, fuck that. Not that one.
That was a 4-rounder.
Yeah, main event. Josh Kelly. Well, we just kind of spoke about him, I guess, but there's just something missing. There's something missing for me, and I don't know if it's power. I don't know. I don't really know what it is because he looks like he throws his shots, but Ramez can probably tell us. Ramez, when someone looks like they're thrown with power, how easy it is that to be deceptive?
Very deceptive. I've seen boys on the pads who look like they're bombers, and you get in the ring with them, no power at all. So it can be very, very deceptive.
Strange, isn't it? Because he threw that up jab, that corkscrew jab
That
that
was
Kelbrick
lovely.
used to throw. Beautiful shot, but Chris George didn't give a fuck.
No. Let me just say this actually. I thought Tony Bellew's commentary was very, very good in that
Yeah, I thought it
fight.
was fair.
That's what I'm getting at, because straight away Adam Smith goes, "Oh, that shot was," and Bellew dissected it and was like, "Great shot, the up jab. Looked worse than it was for such and such reason." So I thought that was very fair.
They went to Michael Conlon, and Conlon's like, "George has been really negative."
Yeah.
And
Bellew
Bellew
went,
went, "Nah, that's a bit unfair."
We got injured in the end, didn't he?
Yeah, well, yeah. I think Kelly is one of those ones where he's always going to have something to prove. But from people I've spoke to people who were in the venue, and they've said the atmosphere died on its arse, man. It
should have
died
had
on its
Ritson
arse.
last.
I think with Kelly, because of all these highlights he's got going, there's always that massive expectation for him. So even if he boxes well, but not up to the expectation, he's always going to have critics.
I think one other thing that I read, or I was speaking to someone who said to me, my mate Gav, shout out Gav if you're listening, mate, from Newcastle. I actually met Gav last year at the Next Gen show when Josh Kelly smashed up Tom something. I met this boy outside the venue, him and his mate. We ended up going out on the piss. Fucking great night. he was there last night, bought VIP tickets, and he said to me, he thinks the reason for the change in atmosphere was that when you're watching Josh Kelly, you're on edge the whole time. He said you're on edge because he could get knocked out because he's got his hands down all the time, and every time there's like action, you're like, oh fuck, and it's not instantly as exciting, but it's exciting because you don't really know what the fuck's going to happen, and people are just like kind of taken aback by what's happening. But yeah, I don't know. For me, I said it last night. They got the order wrong. I don't know why that is.
There's some big nights to come.
Northeast.
Yeah,
Northeast.
It's a hell of a night out.
Northeast are doing bits.
They're doing bits.
in the Northeast. I mean,
There's buds everywhere.
Lewis Ritson goes for European next. Josh Kelly moves on. Big nights out there.
Yep. Time to rattle through some questions. We're about an hour and 20 in. My whole family are in London. I shouldn't have been drinking really, so I got to pick them up from the station, but I'm alright. I'm all good. No police get onto me. We're all good. I should have eaten. Definitely should have eaten.
You're only joking. You didn't really drink.
Yeah, no, I didn't really drink. Let's do some questions. J Mac. First of all, he listened to Adam's interview with Kevin Barry. Great interview. He said, but I have to ask him one point. He said Bryson Povetkin was a candidate for Fight of the Year. Is he drunk?
No, he said it was his fight of the year.
Yeah, he said it was his fight of the year.
Again, opinions.
Jason, you can't tell him that. How dare you? It was, yeah, very, very good interview. And even I cringed when he said that. I was like, bruv, Fight of the Year, Bryce Povetkin. No, they definitely listened to that interview. Kevin Barry talking about obviously the White Parker fight, how it came together. Good half-hour interview on the YouTube, Fight Talk YouTube. But yeah, Bryce Povetkin, Fight of the Year. What do you reckon? Top 3, top 5, top 20, top 50?
Do you know what? I see what Adam's getting at, because there was a lot of build-up beforehand and everybody was hyped up, and when the fight was going on, I could not take my fucking eyes off it. You know what I mean? Like, even in between rounds, I was like, how's he feeling? That's
because he's waiting just for Price to get banged out.
Nah, when Price clipped him with that left hook, I had a fucking semi, man. I had a semi. I honestly thought Price was going to do the business. I was like, surely not. But yeah, obviously Povetkin.
Even when he caught him, I still didn't think he was going to do it.
No?
I still didn't think he was going to do it.
Do you not think he boxed well?
He boxed well. I still never had any belief that he'll do it though.
He's fighting soon.
David Price. When's he fighting?
End of July, apparently, middle of July or something.
Who's he got?
Don't know. Like, it's probably like an easy comeback fight. But what do you make of him coming back generally?
I personally think he should pack it in. To be honest,
So you're a fighter, so it's interesting because me and Sam.
That's the thing. I say it now, but if that was me, would I pack it in? I probably wouldn't. That's the thing.
Does it depend on? Luco's sister is so hot, by the way. Does it depend on how you lose? On whether you retire? Because we've just seen Paul Smith's retired.
Yeah.
Shout out Paul Smith on the retirement. Enjoy it, mate. But does it depend on how you lose as to why you would retire? Because David Price has been sparked out a couple of times.
Many times, yeah.
Paul Smith hasn't really.
Yeah, that's fair.
I was saying he should retire. I watched him on an MTK show. I can't remember the fella's name who he boxed, the Polish fella.
Sokolowski?
Yeah,
Sokolowski.
Yeah.
And after he boxed poorly that day, and he looked knackered. He was a bag of nerves, wasn't he? And I think David Price will always be a bag of nerves. I think it's one of them that you can't overcome it.
I don't know, man. I thought in that Povetkin fight, I thought he was boxing relatively well, man. He was taking shots well. First time he went down, he got straight back up and he looked good. He was calm. And then he clipped him with that left, and I was like, oh shit.
What route do you take him down?
Listen, I think if he wins an English title again, he's happy.
But he's been there, done that, hasn't he? He's won the British, has he won the Commonwealth?
Yeah, British and Commonwealth he was, wasn't he?
So does he want to cover old ground?
I don't know what he's hoping to achieve by boxing on is my question. He's never going to beat any of the world champs. He's never going to beat any of the top 10, 15, 20.
I don't know, mate. I think you'd be surprised when you look through the top 15, 20.
Of each governing body?
No, just in general. If you go on box right now, there'll be guys in the 15 you go, he'd knock him out.
Could he manoeuvre his way to a WBA regular that
Tyson has his eyes on?
Does Char hold it?
Char holds it.
He'd beat Char.
You reckon he'd beat Char? Can he get there quick enough?
Could he beat Bryant Jennings? Yes.
That's the thing about most people. I
agree.
Who's a fella that not Tony Thompson. There was the other fella that stopped him, but he got done for drugs.
Tepper.
Tepper.
Tepper's not great, is he? But he's still done him in 2 rounds.
He got caught cold, man. I know what you're saying. I'd like to see David Price just be content in himself. I think. Whether that's winning an English or a British title, like even British title now is full of savages.
But
you know what I mean?
what if he wins a British, but struggles his way to a British when early in his career he was destroying guys on his way to a British?
The thing is, will he win a British now? Will
That's
he?
the thing.
Look at the current crop. You've got Hughie Fury, you've got Joe Joyce in the wings, you've got Nathan Gorman, you've got Dubois. Like, will he win a British? I don't know, man. It's hard.
Difficult situation. Next question. Do you think Billy... This is from Paul Altai, by the way. Do you think Billy Nelson is overhyping Bacurin? Also, is it bad that he only ever seems to want Hayemaker to make them an offer, but never seems willing to make Joyce an offer to fight on their platform?
That's not true.
Yeah, they've said come over to us. I'm pretty sure they have.
But I'm saying, like, that's not true. They'll fight anybody. They want a big fight.
And
I know what Paul's saying. Shout out Paul all the time.
I love
that guy. But from dealing with Bacurin and dealing with Billy Nelson myself for interviews, all they want to do is fight. All they want to do is get a big fight. And fighting DL Jones for an IBO Intercontinental title, that's not what they want. They don't want to be doing that. They want to be fighting.
The reason I don't have a problem with it is, of all these talks of all these heavyweights at the moment, how else are you going to make noise?
Exactly. There's nothing wrong with overhyping your guy. You never know, he might not be as good as he's saying, but at least give him that opportunity to prove himself.
And if Joe Joyce's camp are leading discussions by saying 10 people pulled out and were too scared to face him, Bacurin wasn't.
Yeah.
Bacurin offered it 6 times, 6 times,
yeah,
and they didn't want it. So, nah, I don't think. The thing is about, the first question is Billy overhyping him? We're not going to know that until he fights somebody, are we? Because he could be brilliant, he could be shit.
We've never seen him fight, so
we don't really know. I seen him fight in Edinburgh when I went up for Taylor Vasquez. I've heard stories in the gym. Like, I've heard stories. I can't.
But we're not allowed to talk about.
Yeah, I can't tell you on here, but I've heard stories in the Peacock gym. I've heard stories in gyms in West London, and listen, the guy's no joke.
They've told me the story, so give me a grand and I'll hook you up.
You put it on a USB. And
the guy is no joke. So let's get him a fight before it becomes too late. But there's also a responsibility on Billy and Martin to make themselves relevant. Do you know what I mean? You can't always just talk yourself into relevance. That's not how it works. You have to go out there and make yourself relevant. So by going to points with DL Jones, are they benefiting or inhibiting their own progress? They're going to inhibit that progress because Dubois stopped them.
In 3.
So they've got a responsibility to perform to a certain level.
If he does him in 2, then it looks good for him, doesn't it?
Always, exactly.
the boxing maths. Well, he
Yeah.
does. People like to do that.
He knows.
He knows. Next question, Lou Smith, one of many from Lou, so we'll just breeze across this one. With Matchroom announcing the White vs Parker fight, could this be a great night of boxing with Buatsi vs Summers, Ben vs Paynold and Chisora Takam on the undercard, or is it just another overhyped... Oh no, what was his wording? Will it live up to expectation? Basically what he's getting at, I've seen it all over Twitter this week. Is this a good or a shit pay-per-view? I've seen such polar opposite opinions. It's crazy. Ramez, what's your initial thoughts on the card?
It's a tricky one. I think with the pay-per-view, it's more a matter of paying the fighters. Will Dylan White, Joseph Parker and Kell Brook settle for a purse that Eddie can give them on a normal Sky Sports Saturday night? I don't think he could. So I think pay-per-view leaves no option, to be honest. Is it a pay-per-view card? Probably not. Because pay-per-view nights you think of as massive nights with massive fights. This isn't one of them. But I see why they'd put in a pay-per-view.
Craig?
I think we have to be a little bit more realistic about how much we spend on other things in our life. Do you know what I mean? So I'll do 20 quid on 3 beers. If I'm on a night out, I'll do 20 quid on 3 beers. And a lot of people are saying, I seen a good thing the other day where it was, how much would you pay if you were going to the cinema and you bought a snack at the cinema? Going to the cinema is 14 quid.
No, you could buy if you save a few cinema trips, a ticket to my fight.
Exactly. So when you consider how much you now pay for things like, if I go to the cinema with my missus or anybody else's missus, It costs a pretty penny, 14 quid for a ticket. If I'm paying for two, that's 30 quid.
You try to take in a missus and two kids, bruv.
Listen,
and then having a bite to eat. I'll pop out to the cinema, have a drink, and I've spent a £1. Swear to God.
Pay 7 quid for a hot dog? Are you fucking mad?
Mate, it's mental. I'm buzzing. It's the first pay-per-view I'm not going to pay for in about 4 years.
Why?
I'm on holiday.
Ah.
So I'm hoping to have it on the bar.
It's the day that I moved back to Scotland.
Is that the day? 28th? Yeah, so I won't have to pay for
Some
it.
decent facts on the show though. I like Chisora Takam.
I like Boatsy Summers.
I like Boatsy Summers. I like Wyatt and Parker.
Listen, I don't mind Kell Brook and Brandon Cook.
I do.
Nobody else knows who Cook is. I know who Cook is.
I don't really know Cook too well.
Didn't he beat the first? He's the second best
in Canada.
In Canada,
No,
and he beat the best.
No, well, that makes him the best then.
No,
Yeah.
that doesn't. You can't just play maths all the
He
time.
got clipped with an ice bucket that fight. You seen that?
Someone threw an ice
Yeah,
bucket at his head.
he
He
got
knocked the guy
fucking
out. He knocked the boy out, and then he fought against Kana Islam, who's like an uncrowned champion at that weight. Kazakhstani boy, look him up, Kanat Islam. And he put in a decent performance in wasn't scared to go to Kazakhstan. He's actually from a small town in Toronto called Ajax, which is where my missus' family lived and where I've been a couple of times. And I tried to go to the gym, but it just didn't work with scheduling. But I was going to go to the gym and speak to him and hang out for a bit. He's a nice guy. Brendan Cook's a nice guy. Does he beat Kell Brook? Probably not. But does the name of the fight rhyme? Yes.
Is he
Brook v Cook.
Is he better than Rabchenko?
Yes.
Yeah.
He's here for a war, man. He'll come for a war. He's ranked in a couple of different governing bodies. Who do you want Kell Brook to fight, man?
I don't want him to fight. I'm bored of him.
Oh my god.
I don't like Kell Brook, mate. I believe he may be the biggest waste of a career in a long time.
Can you say that?
Yeah, I can say that. He beat Porter, right?
Yeah.
Exceptional, yeah. Then what? Then what?
Frankie Calvin.
Superb. Jojo Dan. Kevin Bizier. Well, fuck me. And then what? He got his fucking head punched off by Golovkin in a fight he should never have took. And then Errol Spence punched his other fucking head off.
Listen, that Errol Spence fight was a lot closer than people say it was.
Was it?
There was a couple of rounds in it.
I thought it was close, but
There was a couple of rounds.
I think
in
it's
it.
a waste of a career. For as talented as I've been hearing he is for 5 years, I don't know what he's done. Hey, listen, he's a world champion. Who am I? Again, let's come back to opinions. I don't think he's achieved as much as he should have done with the amount of ability I'm led to believe he has. That's how I was.
he's in a tough division now as well.
That's
He's got
how I leave
Charlo,
it. Yeah.
Jarrett Hurd, who looks like a light heavyweight when he's fighting.
Yeah.
Janet Hard is so big, man.
I saw a picture with Jarrett Hurd next to Miguel Cotto. Do you see a size difference? Do you see that? Do you ever seen the picture?
Just a little bit, yeah.
It's ridiculous. Yeah, I'm not mad at it. I think I like to try and put stuff in perspective and try and quantify what else would I spend £20 on that would give me 4 hours of entertainment. And whether you're a fan of Kell Brook, or you're a fan of someone else, or you think it's a good pay per view or bad, if you're a boxing fan, you watch the fights, man.
Yeah.
You watch the fights.
Listen, if I was here, I would have paid for it.
You watch it anyway.
I think
100%
they're
I would.
setting up Brooke Khan.
Yeah,
There's
I'm
definitely
bored,
setting
I'm bored
up-
of the talk of that as well.
I think the ship has sailed. Unless they can rebuild it back, but that ship has sailed for me. Should have matched them when they were both at 147
At this
top of their
stage,
game.
at this
Agreed.
stage, who's got the upper hand for you? At this stage now,
Brooke.
who had the upper hand the first time it was mentioned?
Khan. I think Khan would have picked him to pieces. If I'm totally honest,
I don't know. I think they've both deteriorated.
they both have now. I think they box in their next fights and then Brooke wins. But I think back in the day, Khan picked him to pieces.
Yeah, it's a fight again. It's gone on so long. I'm bored of it. There's a question about AJ Wilder. Is it boring?
Oh,
now?
let's talk about that.
Let's not, mate. Listen, I got to pop out. You better get back here. What are your thoughts on the AJ Wilder, the whole situation, the whole saga?
It's boring.
It is, isn't it?
It is boring. I'm not gonna believe it happens till I see him in the ring. But the whole thing is boring. I think it's petty. Just the little digs they're having at each other. Just get on with it. Make the fight. If you're not gonna make the fight, go and fight someone else. But you don't need a headline every single day with there's developments here. It's not happening here.
100% agree. Like breaking news, Wilder says he's offered the 50 million. Breaking news, Joshua will take it. Breaking news, they have.
And breaking news, Wilder's coming to the UK.
Yeah, it's
Breaking news, it's on. No, it's not.
Where should the fight take place? If for you as a neutral, or do you favour one of them? I don't know if you're a fan of either of them, but Where do you think a fight of this magnitude should take place for an undisputed heavyweight championship of the world?
I'd love it to be in England, but I don't know why Eddie Hearn and Joshua so badly want it in the UK. If it goes to Vegas, not a bad thing. A big Vegas fight, that you can't beat it.
That's true.
You can't beat a big Vegas fight.
How many British fighters get to headline in Vegas?
Not many.
It ain't many, is it?
Can Joshua take the same crowd that Ricky Hatton used to take? Nah.
Probably bring 20,000. About that. It's fucking hard to match.
Yeah. Because Ricky Hatton,
Really
not all of them went to the venue either.
No,
a lot of them just
in the
did.
casinos.
Yeah. But I think it'd be hard to match the Ricky Hatton in Vegas.
You bored of it? You bored of AJ Wilder?
Just all I want to know is the fight possible, or is it too late? And is there a deal being done with Povetkin? And are we just blowing up smoke to try and confuse everybody? Like,
yeah, agreed.
I just want to know whether it's realistic or not. I'm not really bored of the chat. Like, if it's going to happen, cool, man. Have the chat. That's fine. I just want to know: is it possible, or is someone just blowing smoke up our asses again?
Well, there was rumours that Golovkin and Saunders was more or less done for August the 18th.
I know, and then they announced the Golovkin-Canelo rematch.
I'm glad that never happened.
But obviously, when you're Canelo, then you call the shots. You do
Apparently
what you want.
He's getting 55% of the purse.
I thought it was 57.5.
Well,
Yeah,
whatever
no,
it
it
is.
is.
He's getting more than Golovkin.
Yeah,
Yes.
he
Insane.
brings more to the table.
Canelo's a money man.
He'll bring the clem. He'll bring the clem and the meat.
Canelo's going to rob him. What? I'm saying it now. Canelo's going to rob him.
He's going to rob him.
Canelo's going to win, but he's
You
going to
reckon?
rob him.
Alright. Listen, oi, I got to pop out for half hour. Are you going to stay in pod? You're going to talk to Ramez? What's the crack? What are we doing? We're still recording right now. We're having our discussion live. That's how raw we are.
How long have we got to record on this one?
But this is on 16. So it's about an hour and 35 so far. You two can do a couple of the questions while I shoot out. You can pause it.
No, let's
Whatever you want to do. I'll be
Let's-
back in half hour.
Let's blast it out.
I'm going to pick the family up from Epping.
Where the fuck is Epping?
Epping's about a 20-minute drive, 15-minute drive.
Bring me an unbeaten before you go, then I won't have to leave.
Alright, Dad.
Got the questions up?
I've got some questions here.
You know how to work the thing, right?
No, I'll just guess.
Well, I'm guessing stop for stop, record for record. how hard can it be?
We've sussed it. We've sussed it.
We'll just ruin it now. This pod-
I'll wait for the phone call. I'll see you in a minute.
See you in a bit.
Yes. This is how we do it here, man. We make it up as we go along. Yeah, we had loads of questions about a number of different things, really. To be honest, let me just bring some questions up. First of all, Ramez, how do you feel about the difference between a Matchroom show and a Warren show? As someone who doesn't fight on either,
Right.
what would be your preference if someone offered you say the money was exactly the same? What would be your preference and why? Or would you have one? You might not have one.
I'll just take whatever I get, really. But I think the general consensus is that Matchroom is a place to be. So it's a tough one, really. I'll just take whatever opportunities that I'm given.
Why do you think people prefer Matchroom shows to one, consumers, or the proofs in the numbers, right? So they sell more tickets, they sell more pay-per-views. Why do you think that is?
I think a lot of it is the Eddie Hearn effect. I feel like a lot of the casual fans do like Eddie Hearn, so I think that's why they tend to go with the Eddie Hearn show. But Frank Warren is closing the gap. He's got the BT platform. Speaking of his BT platform, you know what I'm going to ask. The Tyson Fury fight, how comes that was on Box Nation?
God. What'd you make of the fight?
I think Tyson... I think it was nice seeing him back in the ring. I felt the opponent could have been better, but I think I'll give him a pass for this one. I'll give him a pass for this one and make judgment for the next one.
I think we definitely need to see a step up for the next one, don't we?
100%.
That level's not acceptable more than once, to be honest.
I think, well, they're talking about Char, aren't they? If they get Char for the next one, I can't complain.
That's a good fight.
Yeah.
That's a good fight. Lou Smith asked a question. He said, Fight Talk, you support Lerone Richards, and I have had the pleasure of meeting the man and seeing him spar at Wilkie HQ, Team Wilkie HQ, shout out Alec Wilkie. I feel Frank is doing this man a massive wrong with not trying to get him in that fight between Vijay Singh and Lee Markham, especially when Singh isn't a big draw over here. What do you know about that situation? Do you know much about it?
I know that Lerone says he was offered the fight with both and accepted the fight with both, and now they're fighting each other on an MTK show for the Commonwealth title.
Yeah.
Lerone Richards is talented, really talented, but he hasn't been given his opportunity. He's just one of them that's been in the background, and there's a lot of fighters that are in the background. Lucian Reed's another one, sort of in the background. I wonder, because Lerone recently fought on a small hall show, didn't he? I wonder if these boys have the option to go and just box on small hall shows, and if Ron will be okay with that. If he's not boxing them, would he have a problem with that?
But I think from speaking to Lerone myself, I think the issue for him is not boxing.
Yeah.
The issue is
the opportunities.
Where's my chances then? So I've won the WBO European. I'm ranked top 15. And when we had Lerone on the podcast, he was very open and honest. I asked him the question, even though you're ranked top 15, do you feel as though you are in the top 15 in the world right now? And he said to me, no, not yet. I don't. But I understand that's how the governing bodies work.
That's how rankings work, don't they?
So I think for him it's about cementing his own relevance at that level. And I don't know why. This is the thing for me, right? See if someone offers you a fight and you don't want it, don't take it.
Yeah.
Fine. If it's not good for you, don't take it. And if someone offers another guy a fight, don't take it. But why then are both of the folk that didn't want the fight being rewarded for not wanting the fight?
No, exactly, yeah.
That's what kind of confuses me. Is that disheartening for you? Is that something that you're confused at, or is that happening all the time?
I think that's happened to a lot of fights, but Rome must be a stick nut for him, and I'm not sure how they managed to get the combo sanctioned. But I think with Vijender Singh, although he's not a big draw over here, he's a big draw over in India. So he is a big draw somewhere. Whereas Lerone Richards might be sort of in the who needs him sort of club. As in, he's a good fighter. He's risky. If I beat him, what do I gain? But if I lose to him, which could happen, then I'm back to nowhere. It's a similar case with the Bacoli situation. I mean, again, if I beat Bacoli, what do I gain out of him? What do I gain that I'm not going to get anyway? So if someone like Vijender Singh was to beat Lerone Richards, he's got nothing. Whereas if he beats Lee Markham, he's got himself a nice Commonwealth title and he pushes on from there. Yeah,
that's true. But I mean, those fights would both be for the Commonwealth title, right? Do you think it's a harder ask? Do you think? Well, where do you rate Vijender Singh against Lerone Richards? Like, who do you think's a better boxer?
I've not really seen too much of Vijender Singh, to be honest. The only time I've seen him is in the Commonwealth. I think it was Commonwealth when he boxed Fowler.
In Glasgow,
When he boxed Fowler.
Yep.
That's the only time I've seen Vijender Singh box. So I can't really say too much about him. But I think as a pro, he looks quite porky as with middle though, doesn't he? He does look a bit quite porky as with middle.
He doesn't look ripped, does he? He looks a bit like he could lose a little bit, but
because he boxed Fowler at middle as an amateur.
Yep.
And I'm sure he could be able to do a cut since then. Fowler's since gone down to light middle.
But he's just not very active, is he? He's not as active as I feel he should be. He's like doesn't fight very often, and when he fights, he's travelling all over the place.
He's got a bit of a funny relationship with Warren because I remember them splitting a little while ago.
Yeah.
And now they're back together. He's just hard to keep up with what's going on.
Unusual.
And it's not on a Warren show either. It's on an MTK show.
But it'll be on Box Nation.
It will be because that deal's out now.
Which is that's a tricky one as well, isn't it? Like
what I think, because I think the Box Nation call with MTK, I think you could have called that.
Sam did call it.
Who's that?
Sam called it.
Oh, did he?
Sam said they've already got a monopoly on management, a monopoly almost on like who they look after and stuff like that, especially in the Warren stable. Fury,
I sort of called it because I called it when the Tyson Fury fight. When I saw that Tyson Fury wasn't on Box Nation, this is going to happen more often. Now Box Nation's got more dates that they need to fill.
Yeah.
And with the affiliation that they have with MTK, they need to fill these dates. So it's an easy.
Now they've got 12 dates. 12 dates. First one I think is August 24th.
Is that a Scotland one?
No, it's London, York Hall. I think Lee Eaton will be doing the organising for that. So shout out to Lee all the time.
He's doing a good job.
He's non-stop.
He's doing a good job, Lee Eaton.
He's non-stop, and he wants to put on good fights, which is something we were asked about earlier on. 50-50s. He's
been trying desperately hard to get Ozgool a fight, hasn't he?
Yeah, and that's a weird one because Ozgool's not unbeatable. No. I don't know why. I don't know what the struggle is, but Lou Smith said, do we need to see more cards like the last couple of next-gen shows at York Hall? They had some great fights, some 50-50s, more than the bigger shows in the small hall. And is this how they should take it to the next level, such as MTK, starting to put more competitive fights on? And this is something that we've been asked a lot of times. Is the key to cracking the small hall just throwing guys in with each other. Just let's two guys have a go.
Make big fights. Because I think you've touched on it recently with the recent Your Cool show, the Joe Power show.
Yep.
And then how MTK and Goodwin are putting on great shows, and got the next gen shows, which I love the last one, by the way. That's the way to go. You get a nice platform, and I think it attracts a casual audience to have a bit all the setup and everything as well, because I've brought friends to a boxing show who aren't really boxing fans, but because of the setup, the music, the way everything's set up, they enjoy the night, not just the boxing, but the whole night. So that's how we bring new fans into the sport.
And I think if you see evenly matched, well matched fights, like Linus against Eric Israel, like Leon McKenzie, Chael Renda, like fights like that on a small hall, you'll go to the small hall.
Of course,
you'll start buying tickets to the small hall and you'll go there. You won't be resigned to watching TV or watching fucking Sky Sports, and
because you can't beat being that up close, can you?
That were you at the Mackenzie Render?
No, I wasn't at Athens.
Oh mate,
I still haven't seen that. I still have not seen that.
It's the best atmosphere ever. It was so good, man. It was so good. We talk about it every week, so I don't want to bore
I remember one show that Goodwin had that I was at. It had Duke Mika fighting Matty Chanda.
Yeah.
Freddie Kiwitt.
Commonwealth.
Yeah, Commonwealth. Freddie Kiwitt boxed Akeem Ennis-Brown that night, and Leon McKenzie boxed Jermaine Smile that night.
Oh, shit.
That was a great show.
That's a great show.
That was a great show.
Shout out to Duke Mika, won recently as well, didn't he? Fellow management.
Yeah, Duke Mika. I've sparred many rounds with him. Absolute animal. And he's coming for his world title opportunity.
How far can he go?
I think he can go all the way, Duke Mika. I remember the first time I sparred him, they didn't tell me who he was. We just got his boy over, need some rounds. This was before I turned pro. I go and I'll spar him. So, round one, I thought, I'm having a decent round here. But Duke Mika's obviously having a look. Second round, then he started opening. I go, okay, what we got here? Then they told me after, he's an Olympian. At the time, I think he was about 50-0, stopped them all.
Oh my god!
I think that day we only got in about 5 or 6 rounds, something like that. But
he's a beast.
He was absolute animal, and he's only a bantamweight as well, so he's a bit smaller than me.
Yeah, he's a strong boy. He fights Evander Holyfield shows now, right? Real deal.
Yeah,
Real deal.
I've seen floor good boys in sparring, so he's a good fighter.
Dangerous. Let's just go through some of Lou's questions while Sam's away, because Lou's asked honestly about 147 questions. After an impressive win last Wednesday on the Next Gen show, can Eddie Hearn be looking to put Okolie in for the British title against Askin in his next fight?
That is not going to get made. I'm saying it now.
Don't do it.
That is not getting made.
Don't do it. I don't want to.
As I said earlier, Matty Askin is above the rest of the domestic cruiserweights, and he's already had one defence so far.
Stephen Simmons. Yeah, that might be his only defence.
I'm not sure what he wants to do. I'm not sure if he wants to defend it outright or if he wants to push on.
I think I've spoke briefly to his manager, Paul Speak, who's also Lucas Brown, Ricky Hatton's manager as well. They're looking for bigger opportunities. So they're looking for bigger opportunities.
Can't blame him. He's a level above Matty Askin.
He's very, very good, isn't he?
Yeah.
He's one of them ones who was part time, lost a couple, went full time, and it just went on the up. He's just dramatically.
Who's beating him? Glowacki. He's a world level fighter.
Let's have a look.
And Over McKenzie.
Fuck it. You know your stuff.
Got my memory, yeah.
Jeez. I think that's the only 2 he's lost. Let me check. Matty Askin. No, he's lost 3. Lost to John Lewis Dickinson, which is no.
And that was back in the day, wasn't it?
Yeah, but that's no shame. John Lewis Dickinson used to be the king of the North East, if you like.
Is that still going?
Yeah, it goes for about an hour.
What is it? Cool.
Yeah, it's alright. So Matty Askin for me, same as you. I think he beats them all.
Yeah.
Domestic. I think
who's a domestic that can sort of rival him? I don't think.
Well, let's look domestic level. You got Matty Askin, Okolie's in number 2, Craig Kennedy, no, Tom McCarthy, no. Well, Massey's alright.
But would they want that so early?
I don't know. I honestly don't know. Chris Billum Smith's a good boxer. Dion Juma.
Dion Juma's a good boxer. But I think Matty Askin is just above at the minute. I'm not sure if he's going to hold on to his British title while waiting for these guys to come up.
I don't think he has to defend it 3 times. He's 29 as well, so I think you're probably looking at your bigger opportunities.
And we've seen the British title effect anyway, haven't we?
Yeah. What's your view on that? Like, if you won the British title, would you be interested in defending it outright? Do you have to?
You don't have to. I would love to win the British outright, but it's a shame that it does happen, because I think winning it outright went more in the older days than it does now.
Yeah.
Whereas now, as bad as it sounds, the WBC silver takes you a longer way than winning the British outright does. Like, let's take Bradley Skeet for example.
Yep.
I mean, rather he won the British outright and sort of hindered his career, and then he took a very difficult fight on the road. Whereas if he was to box someone like Jeff Horn for a world title, he could have beaten Jeff Horn.
Yeah, that was that fight against Lerahaja. Horrible fight in Bilbao, man. It was terrible. I just looked, Matty Askin is ranked 14th in the world.
Who's above him?
Like, only quality operators apart from Steve Cunningham, who's inactive. But you look at the other guys above him. Like, I wouldn't mind seeing Askin against Lebedev.
Okay.
Asking against Fonfara.
Fonfara's a good fight for him because he just moved up.
Yeah. So
that Dorticus is a beast, isn't he?
He's a savage, man. Like, don't take too much from him losing against Garcia because he is.
That Dorticus is an animal.
He's still legit. Glowacki still up there. Maybe a rematch with. I reckon he could beat Glowacki
possibly.
now.
He's coming a lot, Matty Askin.
So he's rated highly. The next highest rated is Lawrence Okoli, who's 33rd in the world.
Would Matchroom have that?
I don't think it benefits Okoli, man. I don't think it does anything for him because I don't think he wins.
Nah.
I don't think he wins. He might do in time. He's very good at Okoli, and he's long and he's rangy.
He's starting to pick up some solid wins now. As a Chamberlain, a good win. Luke Watkins, a good win. So he's starting to pick him up now.
Yep.
Not that he's been given walkovers.
No, they had a couple of good fights, to be fair. Again, we're just going to smash through some of Lewis Smith's questions. What did you make of Nathan Gorman's performance last week as he looked calm and collected, beating Sean Turner? What do you reckon a British dust-up between him and Dubois would bring?
It's the first time I've actually seen Nathan Gorman properly, and I was quite impressed with him actually. And they're saying that he's slimming down now. There's still weight to come off him, I reckon.
Yeah.
But he's slimming down. I think they're going to let the Dubois fight build.
Do you think so?
I think they're going to let it build a little bit.
What's the problem? What would be the issue with making it now for you?
I'd love to see it now, but I think Warren would want to build it.
Yeah.
And nothing wrong with having fights early. I think a great example I always go back to is George Groves and James DeGale. They fought early and did not do them any harm.
Chamberlain and Coley,
Davis and Josh Taylor.
Yep.
Davis and Josh Taylor.
Perfect.
Yeah. So nothing wrong with taking them early.
I don't mind seeing it now, man. I don't mind seeing it now.
I love seeing it now, but I'm not sure if they'll have that now, unless Warren is struggling for a main event.
I reckon now Gorman beats him.
You reckon?
Right now.
I'm not seeing too much of Dubois at the minute, so he needs to be taking the rounds.
Yes, for me he's not as fluid. He doesn't.
He's tight, isn't he?
He's powerful, but he's very, he's very solid and very big square structure.
That's what impressed me about Gorman for a sort of chunky guy.
Yeah.
He was quite fluid, wasn't he?
Yeah.
And not many stops that Sean Turner so early. I mean, he went the distance with Horgovich, didn't he?
Horgovich, yeah. So
big sexy.
Big sexy. But you could tell, like, Gorman was just there was too much variation in his shots. When he was just throwing his mad long uppercuts, and he was stepping back, throwing looping body shots in. Like, there was a lot of variation in what he was trying to do. So I think Nathan Gorman's so young as well. He's 21.
About that, yeah.
21, 22. Like,
so young for a heavyweight.
For a heavyweight. Him, Huey
Dubois,
Fury.
Dubois about the same age as well, isn't he?
Dubois is younger. I think he's like 20.
Dubois is 20, yeah.
He's young.
I remember him from the amateurs again for about 4 years.
But he wasn't as big.
Me. No, he wasn't. I remember his first fight as an amateur around about was about not even that, about 40 something kilo probably.
Jesus.
48 kilo. That's in the championships.
He's dramatically grown, but I think he'll be a big star. But I think Gorman beats him right now if they were to fight tomorrow.
And maybe that's the reason why Warren's not going to take it now.
Yeah, I think he thinks Dubois is probably the jewel in the crown, if you like.
I think Tom Little can give him some problems.
Yeah?
I think give him some... I'm not saying he'll beat him, but I think he'll give him a few things to think about.
Ask him some questions.
Yeah.
That's next week, right?
Next week on the O2 show.
Are you going?
No, I'm not going to that actually, no.
Nah. I'm going to the Josh Taylor show next week.
Oh, yeah.
Going up for Taylor Postol. Good fight.
Good fight. Very good fight.
Good fight for Taylor. They're doing things the right way.
Yeah.
With Taylor.
And if he can stop him, then he can say Crawford didn't do that, but I did.
Did the first man to stop him.
Yeah.
And I think he beats the world champion Ramirez. Taylor would probably beat him.
But who's going in the World Series?
Well, I spoke to him recently, and he was saying he doesn't care who goes in it. He wants to be in it, but he doesn't care who else goes in it.
as long as they've got belts.
Yeah, that's the thing. You want the world champions there.
So he said the whole benefit of this setup is that if people bring in belts, they can win the belts.
That Prograis is meant to be a good.
Prograis is he's a good fighter. I'm supposed to be interviewing him next couple of weeks. He's a good fighter. You've got who else?
Prograis.
Oh God, who's the other champions? Mikey Garcia.
He's dropped down now, hasn't he?
So he won it off Lipinets, and then he dropped back down. Didn't he?
Fighting Robert Easter, who has to fight. Winner has to fight Richard Comey within 90 days.
Come on, Comey.
Come on, Comey.
Lomachenko.
He's too small. I think he's gonna go up.
Who did he fight though? He beat Linares for the WBA, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's interesting. It's interesting to see who's in that category. But Josh Taylor for me is unbelievable.
Brilliant, isn't he?
He's unbelievable. I think he's probably the next British world champion, and maybe one of the top 2 or 3 Scottish fighters of all time if he continues. But
I think he'll go up eventually as well.
Yeah, I think so. He wants to do 2 or 3 different weights.
Can you imagine him in the welterweight team in a few years?
Brilliant. That'd be amazing. But yeah, that's next week as well in Glasgow. The SSE Hydro, I'll be there. The Frank Warren show is it still in the O2?
Still in the O2, yeah. I wonder how many ticket sales they would have done.
Risky, innit?
Risky game, yeah.
Billy Joe against Martin Murray obviously fell through.
Mike Morris still on it.
He's on it facing a guy called Garcia.
Roberto Garcia.
He's had a hard time, Martin Murray.
I feel for him.
It's just, do you think Warren sometimes is too close to the fighters who are his fighters? Like, he just lets Billy Joe, yeah, cool, no worries.
I think most promoters would be there because Billy Joe is pretty much his star now, isn't it?
Yeah.
He's got Billy Joe,
Frampton Fury
now, and then the up-and-comers Dubois and Yard.
Yeah. He's got some names. There's an argument he's got bigger names in Matchroom.
I think if you look at the whole stable, he probably does.
Yeah.
I mean, Matchroom's got Joshua and Brooke as their main 2. Bellew now. And then you got a few of the Olympians coming up.
But that's pretty much it, though.
Yeah.
That is interesting. We'll definitely see what happens. Those 2 cards are on the 23rd of June next week, so tune into those, obviously. Yes, I'm back in the house, I'm back in the building, back in the place.
Oh, please just go back out.
How was it without me? Did you miss me?
Do you know what? The pace was a little bit slower because I was trying not to slur my words, which was good.
And I hype you up, didn't I?
Especially after that. That was intense.
Yeah, what did I miss then? What questions are left? I got the DMs.
We were basically talking about Frank Warren shows, the difference between them and...
Oops, silent my phone, sorry.
Oh God. Difference between them oh God, someone just said Josh Kelly stumped the joint out, kept doing woo like Ric Flair, which was irritating. Good point, Max Stoke. Good point. We asked Ramez, what other questions did we ask, mate?
How far did we get? Was this from Twitter? You saw these questions?
Yeah.
I mean, you're not going to have to really fill
Hold
me
on,
in.
hold on, I got you. They were all Lou Smith ones, to be fair.
Yeah, they were Lou Smith
Richie
ones.
just asked if anyone sent more questions in than Lewis Smith ever.
Never. We also asked Lerone Richards. We spoke about Lerone.
You don't know how I feel about Lerone anyway. Everyone knows how I feel about
We
Lerone.
spoke about Lerone, the Vijender Singh and Lee Markham fight.
Terrible.
Spoke about 50-50s on the small hall. Do
Yeah.
we need to get more 50-50s on the small hall to garner interest? Yes, we saw.
Yeah.
I
got a few DMs if you want me to rattle some off.
We also spoke about Coley against Askin. Did you think Coley v Askin's a good move? We said no.
We said no.
For who? Coley.
For
Coley.
Yeah, Askin is a tough man.
Very good.
Head like a watermelon as well.
Very good.
We said that Askin should push on now. He's miles above the rest of the domestic crop.
Fair.
And that was about it, mate.
Yeah, so I didn't miss that much. I flew to Epping and back. I got a FaceTime off Richie Gray in the car.
Shout out Richie Gray.
He's coming back on in 2 weeks, and we've got his gym mate coming on with him, and I've told him they both have to call people out and stop being pussies.
Who's the gym mate?
Julio Chavez.
Okay.
Yeah, do you know Julio?
I know the name. Yeah.
Yeah, he's a nice guy apparently, and
Is that the one Richie put a video of Richie bashing him up in sparring recently?
yeah, but he edited it. I'm sure he edited it.
Must have edited it.
Riku, lead right, my man. Few
Shout
questions. We'll rattle a couple off. We may have answered some of them. Is it a long-term hindrance for the Matchroom prospects always fighting in the home corner and in favourable circumstances? That's a good question. How often does he send his fighters away? I mean, McDonald went to Japan and got brutalised.
I just say Riku always asks banging questions.
Yeah, big up
always. I don't really know if it matters what corner you're in.
I disagree.
I think my argument would be it depends who you're fighting. It doesn't matter if you're the home or away corner, but it depends who you're fighting. Now, if you're fighting a decent guy in a 50-50, or you fight a guy that should beat you, but you're still the home fighter, I don't really know if it matters.
Yeah.
But yeah, I know what he's saying. I'm not really sure.
I mean, if you're going to Newcastle to fight Ritson, for example, in the away corner,
Fuck that.
I'm not feeling it.
Imagine how Paul Allen felt yesterday walking in the ring.
Yeah, Paul Highland, man, bless him.
But sometimes you've got to do it.
Yeah, I mean, in the long term, Richie sending in stupid questions for fuck's sake.
Showed him one.
The long term, I think the more different environments you can box in, the better for you. That's how I feel about it.
And sometimes there's a thing about winning a title away from home, isn't there? I think the greatest moment I've seen is Darren Barker. I love Darren Barker.
That was the best. That's the best.
Winning a world title against Daniel Gill in America. That was brilliant. Was so happy for Darren Barker at the time. I think if you'd done that in England, wouldn't have had the same effect as it was going away.
Yeah, it's very true. Do the next gen shows being at York Hall help or hinder small hall shows?
Help.
I love the last next gen.
They help if they spur the small hall shows on. So they help if they act as an ideal scenario. Do you know what I mean? So if Goodwin or Joey Pyle or any of the respected small hall guys, if they look at that and say, we need to be doing it more like this, and it spurs them on to improve their own product, fantastic. If it doesn't do that, then it hinders them.
What do you think, Sam?
Yeah, I agree with that. I think there's a lot to learn, and if promoters see stuff and get ideas, then it takes what they do a lot further. I feel like there's a gap. I think Goodwin, MTK are up there. I feel like there's smaller promoters who could possibly take ideas. As you said, if you have a bad show, it's not the end of the world, as long as you learn from that and improve it for the next time.
Agree. I mean, in the last 12 months, just think of how many promoters have done shows at York Hall. MTK have their first next month. You go Pyle, you go Goodwin, you go Hayemaker, you go Hearn, you go Warren. I mean, you're talking about there's more Dove. There's probably 8, 9, 10 promoters that have promoted there, and they all have different production.
Yeah.
They all have it completely different. So if you can learn a little bit from the big guys doing it, I don't think it can be a negative.
Not a bad thing at all.
Not a bad thing. With Tyson Fury and possibly other Warren fighters on BT exclusively, you know, you think of Frampton, Billy Joe, they won't box anywhere but BT Sport. Can we say that Box Nation has been a failed experiment, and will it last for much longer? Kid Squat?
I think, personally, like, obviously, it's very difficult when you get big names that are on Box Nation, but do you have to then exclude Box Nation if you're going to put them on BT Sports? For me, those two being separate entities doesn't work. It doesn't work. It can work if you're going to put every single undercard and every single main event on Box Nation, but the fact that somebody's signed up for Box Nation for £12 a month doesn't mean they want to sign up for foreign tennis, motocross, some football. It doesn't mean they have an interest in that. I think Box Nation's unique selling point was that it's purely boxing.
Yeah.
If you're a boxing guy and you love boxing and you want as much boxing as you can consume, Box Nation is your place to go. The fact that it's now been watered down on this multinational fucking product, it's not the same, man. It's not the same. So I don't know if it's a failed experiment or if it's just an awakening that they are two different products.
Ramez, your thoughts on it?
Yeah, I feel like it's a bit, because Box Nation was made for all Frank Warren shows. So all Frank Warren shows were meant to go on Box Nation. Now that the big names aren't going on it takes a bit away from it. Now they've got a few more dates which have been filled with MTK shows.
Yep, 12 shows I believe
Something
in a year.
like that, yeah.
Is it 12 in a year?
Yeah.
And I like that because a lot of the boys on the smaller shows get a platform now, but it's not the same if you're missing out on your Billy Joe Saunders, your Framptons, your Furies. So it's taken away from the Box Nation effect, I think. Although they're still going to get the American fights, they're not going to get everything. So what am I paying for?
Yeah, I'm not overly sold on why MTK have gone with Box Nation. In 2018, the way media is changing, and IFL's subscriber list is 300,000 ish, probably more now. Do Box Nation have that many subscribers?
No way.
Probably not.
So
No way.
why not do a deal with IFL that every one of their shows is on? Because it's still this weird.
The weird thing about it
because it says TV, yes.
Yeah.
Because we say in TV, we're going, well, this is clearly bigger. But is it? I would be intrigued to compare the subscriber numbers.
Anybody can access YouTube, whereas not everyone's going to pay £12 a month for Box Nation.
Yeah.
I'm going to give you a little bit of insider information right now. I can't mention names, but let's just say that there's been a big transfer from Frank Warren to Matchroom recently, and it's not a boxer. It's a member of the back of house staff who is directly transferred
from Warren to Hearn.
Indeed. So I don't know if you can take that as this is where things are going, or that's how things are being perceived by members of staff, but that's happened, and that for me is an indicator that all is not well in the Frank Warren stable.
My honest opinion, just thinking out loud, I imagine Warren is surviving on MTK money. I might be wrong.
Yeah,
not surviving because he's been around. He's a Hall of Fame. How many birds are outside my fucking house?
Not enough.
Get the dog on them.
Yeah, but I think it's a clear indication that MTK are propping up a lot of Warren and his stable and his cards and his channel now. Do you know what I mean? Last one we'll touch on from Riku. Quite simply, which small hall fighters have the potential to be the next Lewis Ritson? If we just talk about stylistically, who has a style at small hall we've seen like Ritson?
Nobody.
No.
Nobody.
The closest,
Brad
Pauls?
Brad Pauls, but he's not as relentless.
He's not as relentless as Ritson. For as much as I love Brad Pauls, he's not as relentless as Ritson. Ritson is punching your head off. He is constantly in your face.
Brad Pauls takes the time a bit more. Is a bit more of a boxer than Ritson is a boxer, but he's just a bit more relentless. He's always in your face. From the top of my head, I can't think of anyone, to be honest.
What about not stylistically? What about him coming from the small halls, you said, to blow away a whole division in Britain?
Udofia?
Do you reckon he could do that in Britain? Do you think middleweight is light enough?
In time? Who's he got to beat? He's got to beat Felix Cash. Is realistically going to be a guy.
Felix Cash, good guy, good fighter.
That's a good fight even now.
Yeah.
So that's not you don't look at that fight and go, Felix Cash would smash Udofia.
Oh no, definitely
not.
Definitely not.
I go, that's a good fight.
Yeah.
So I don't know, man. It's interesting.
Langford, Wellborn.
Oh, I think Linus could do them both in the next 12 months.
Yeah. They're rematching.
Yeah.
They're rematching. Yeah.
They don't bring much to the table, man.
Arnfield.
Boring.
Yeah, you know what? You're right. You're struggling for many guys that you go domestically, put them in with Linus, and Linus would get pumped.
The thing that's great about the way Ritson does it, though, is that Lewis Ritson has come and he's just walked through these boys in 1 or 2 rounds. I'm not sure we're going to get someone who's going to go from a small hall to smash through the domestic scene in 4 rounds.
Yeah.
in less than a year.
It's ridiculous, isn't it?
But why do you think Lewis Ritson has been allowed to slip under the radar? Is it purely because of where he's from? It must be. Because on the British small hall, guys like O'Hara were scooped up after a couple of fights and went, do you know what, you're going to be with us, you create a bit of furor, or you do this, you do that.
O'Hara was just who he knew, really, because I thought it was just the Towie effect. I think, honestly, O'Hara days when he was an amateur, went to the Mayweather gym and just conveniently bumped into Arj. This is where he met Arj, and from there they were just friends ever since.
Yeah.
And Arj got him in with Charlie Sims and I'm curious to know how many tickets Lewis Ritson sold on the small hall shows. Do you reckon he was a massive ticket seller?
Yeah, it's true. It'd be good to know.
I was watching an Eddie Hearn IFL interview, and he said that he sold 100 tickets on one of the shows. This was before he was a British titleist.
Be good to know, innit? Like, has he been doing that? Did everyone up north know him? I know the British Boxing Blog boys. They've been shouting his name for a long time. So shout out to them. But
I doubt he was doing as many tickets.
No.
Being unheard of. For 12 fights or 11 fights or whatever it was. What was that?
That was a weird advert. I'm trying to check the last Richie Gray.
Shit.
The last Richie Gray question. Is that it? Have you done everything else?
Probably not. Probably missed a few, to be honest.
Oh, I missed one.
Go on.
I missed one from about 4 or 5 days ago, and I knew I would.
No wonder if it's 4 or 5 days ago.
Yeah,
fuck's sake.
4 or 5 days ago. Modern day Lister. Can I get my question in now, as I'm always too late? So this is fucking 5 days ago. If Danny Jacobs goes for the IBF, and has to do a second day weigh-in, could it affect his performance?
Ooh.
Obviously, the situation with him
And Golovkin,
when he boxed Golovkin,
he was massive against Golovkin.
Yeah, and he didn't box for the IBF, did he?
No, because he wasn't allowed to because he didn't weigh in. But
No, I wonder if the IBF will turn around and go, "You're not fighting for it. Fuck you, mate. You've made the precedent."
What do you mean?
It's a vacant title now, right?
Yeah, but if he doesn't make the second weigh-in, then he won't fight for it.
But what I'm saying is, would they mandate him? Surely that title has to be mandated now, right? They've got to choose 2 people to fight for that title.
I thought they had mandated him already.
Already?
It's him against
Yeah,
Davidenchenko.
I thought
And that's done?
I thought they mandated them to. It's not been made, but I'm sure them two have been mandated.
Okay.
Are they part of the same state? Are they trained by the
Nah,
same trainer?
Nah.
No.
I thought they was.
One is Rosier, one is... I'm pretty sure Davidenchenko is Freddie Roach.
Where is he?
I think.
Good
I
fight.
might be wrong, but I know definitely Danny Jacobs is
Well,
obviously...
Danny's going to have to work out his weight cut a bit better, isn't he? And how
He's
he's
just so big, man.
What do you weigh against Golovkin? Massive.
when it went 1.7,
He was huge.
high 1.7, something like that. Yeah, he's got to work out what he's going to do with that because he's got to make the same day weigh in or whatever. There's a certain rehydration weight, isn't there? So yeah, he's going to have to work that out.
Here's a question actually that we like. As it's Father, this is from Rob Cass.
Great question, by the way.
As it's Father's Day, there have been some great fathers who have trained their sons in boxing over the years. Who has been your favourite and why? Past and present.
This is honestly the best question of the podcast.
Past and
His
present.
father's day, it was a cheap one for him.
No, I like the question. I would have thought of it.
Only one comes to mind.
The obvious one comes to mind.
Kazagi.
Enzo and Joe.
Enzo and Joe's the only one that comes to mind.
Isaac
that
Dogbo and
stand out.
Paul Dogbo. Romeo and his dad.
You don't even know his name, Ramez.
It might be Tony.
It might be Tony, it might be Dave. You can't just say it might be.
I think he looks like a Tony. I think it's Tony.
He looks like a Tony. Tony Romeo.
But-
Romeo.
I think there's probably more that you're missing out on.
Woodhull.
Miguel Garcia.
Oh yeah, Angel Garcia, the big racist man. Isn't he? A massive racist.
There's him.
Santa Cruz's dad.
Yeah, he said to Khan, "I've never seen a packet that can fight." Then he went and knocked Khan out. So
yeah.
Santa Cruz's
Ritson.
Ritzen's dad.
Ritzen's dad.
Santa Cruz.
There's a few,
Said
but
that.
sure-
Come on, I just said that one.
surely the standout is Enzo Kazagi, right?
It's got to be, yeah.
Has to be. Man, retired 46-0 undefeated. Did he win? Did he unify the super middleweight division?
Yes.
Yes.
And
Jeff
then-
Macy.
Yep, and then won the like
School
heavy.
Lacey, yeah.
Do you remember when he got dropped in the first round by Hopkins?
Yep.
And he went, what happened? And his dad fucking clattered him. He slapped him. Fucking wake up, will you, Joe?
Brilliant. Fucking brilliant. I used to love watching him fight, man.
Me too, mate. Loved him. And
I started appreciating Joe Kazagi more after he retired.
Did you?
Yeah.
I was in there, man. I was in the midst.
Because with Joe Kazagi, I think he retired 10 years ago.
Yeah.
I was about 14 then, so I
Yeah.
missed most of his career.
Yeah.
So I started watching it back after he'd retired, and I really do appreciate him now more so.
Isn't it
That's
weird?
so
You
good.
did like Joe Kazagi, but you don't like most Welsh people. They're not likeable to you. Joe is.
I mean, it's obviously it's a little bit weird, but you look at Joe Calzaghe and he had like natural raw ability. He
You say
didn't.
Cody Davis doesn't.
No, I'm saying like he didn't look like a snowman.
Let's get it straight because I don't know how long this pod's going to be when we throw it all together, but you don't dislike Cody Davis, do you?
No,
You just don't think he's as likable as some others.
I don't think watching the fight, he came across as likable as a guy
Like Ritson.
like Ritson, like Willie Hutchinson, like because let's get it right, Willie
Racist,
Hutchinson.
Hutchinson, Scottish. You see that? Always comes back.
Willie Hutchinson fought Eric McConzo, put him down in the third round and won on points.
Yeah.
And Hutchinson is more like he wasn't showboating. I don't know. I don't dislike Corey Davis. I dislike Gavin Rees though. he's a clown.
Dude, I think the questions are finished. We're just going to do what we do. Finish up talking about us lot.
This guy.
The egotistical side of the
I think there's a
podcast.
question about me as well. Remains, what are your career?
It's probably another Lewis Smith
That was a
question.
Lewis Smith question.
Because I stopped reading
Shout
it.
out Lewis Smith.
That's the most important bit.
Yeah,
That's the important bit.
talk about it, Ramez. What's next? What's the immediate plans?
Next boxing on September the 8th.
Am I right in saying Goodwin are doing 3 weekends in a row again? They're doing 8th,
8th,
15th,
15th, 22nd, yeah. So I'm on the first one, so I got in there quick for the earlier one, and hopefully after that we can look for a southern area at the end of the year. As I mentioned earlier, that Martin Hillman's fighting Dwayne Winters for the southern area at Super Bantam, so we got one eye on that.
What level opponent from your own,
Yeah.
not what your manager thinks, but you personally, what kind of opponent do you want that will stand you in good stead for a potential tough Southern area title fight?
Probably sort of a step up from what I've had recently, because me being truthfully honest, I've picked up little things in every fight, but I haven't been truly tested. With my chin's been tested and everything, so maybe it's a bit of a step up from what I've had recently.
Do you wanna? This is another weird one. I personally I like to see a fighter get dropped, and I know it sounds weird. Like, I was buzzing when Joshua got dropped and got up and won.
Right.
I'm not saying I want to see you get hurt, Ramez, right?
Cheers, Sam.
But, do you know what I mean? You know that gut check moment where you think, this is hard. This is a fucking difficult fight.
Maybe not drop, but where the other fella has moments, he buzzes you, he hurts you, and you find some character. So that'll come in time.
Yeah. Do you have those moments in sparring where you think, fucking Ryan, you're hitting me hard, man. I need to.
There are times. I can't recall a recent one, to be honest.
He's calling out Ryan Walker for the Southern area.
Nah, I love Ryan. I'll never fight Ryan.
Nah, I love Ryan. Ryan's a good boy. But
Ryan's on the same show, so shout out to him.
Is he on the 8th as well?
Yeah, Ryan's the 8th.
So you won't be sharing opponents like you did with Jamie Spate, no?
We'll be sharing opponents in the weekend. We shared a few opponents. We boxed Jamie, we've boxed Jules Phillips, Luke Fash.
So it's quite shallow divisions, the small guys in Britain.
Yeah, there's not a lot going on.
Would you, just while it's there, would you, if Steve said to you or Mickey said to you, this fight before your Southern area, we can make it for the international challenge belt, would that be something you would be keen on, or is it very much it's irrelevance to you?
I'll jump on that.
Yeah,
I will jump on that. Yeah.
Alright.
They look nice, the challenge belts, don't they?
Some people like them, some people don't. A couple of people. I did the interview with Danny Darko the other day, Under the Lights episode 2.
Yeah.
Check that shit out. And he said, I don't want to fight for challenge belt.
I mean, they look nice, but I wouldn't win that and rave about being the next best thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I know what you mean. I know exactly what you mean.
I think it's shit.
Yeah.
Honestly, I don't.
I'd like one for the mantelpiece, but I'm not going to go on and say.
You know how expensive they are. You have to pay the board, like, is it 300 notes to keep
Something
it?
like that, yeah,
About 300 notes to keep that. And you can't defend them.
That's
the
it,
reason
yeah.
I don't understand what the title means is because you can't defend it. You win it, and then it just carries on. It's just
It's a ridiculous nonsense waste of time, to be honest. And the thing is, if you are paying money and shelling out money to fight for a title which has absolutely no relevance, ranking wise, prestige wise, like, it doesn't have any like, it looks good, that's cool. You want to get the fans to come in because you're fighting for a title, that's cool. And if Ramez fought for a challenge title in his next fight, I go, fuck it, I'll go. And I'll come down for Glasgow and I'll go and I'll be there and I'll support. I won't pay for the ticket, fuck that. I'll still be there, but I know in my head and my heart, it doesn't mean nothing.
I think a lot of fighters get disillusioned with a lot of things that they win. Like, for example, you see someone who beat a journeyman and rave on about them being the next best thing. They could have a terrible performance, win by a point, and say, "Yep, can't wait to win my world title."
someone is out there hashtagging all the belts.
I'll tell you right now.
I know.
Listen.
I know.
Listen, there's two people that stand out to me. One of them is Prince Brady, who is a guy who's had one fight, and I have nothing personally, this is a fucking opinion I guess, I've got nothing against Prince Brady, but when you have one fight and you get put down in the first round in your fight against Edward Bjorklund, and we were there, and you have to battle back, and it was not an easy 3 rounds after that, it was a good fight, and you scrape, and that's what I mean, and you scrape a win. Don't start hashtagging all the belts. When you haven't fought since then, when was that? The end of last year?
At
It
least
wasn't this year.
November.
Wasn't this year.
It was a week before.
It was
I
November.
boxed.
There you
November.
go.
It was November 2017. So you have not fought in 9 months. So that's cool, man. Like, that happens, I understand that. But do not start hashtag all the belts.
He's got a bit of beef with Sam Cox, doesn't he?
Oh, it's pathetic, man. It's pathetic. The other one is Jack Hughes, man. It's pathetic. It is. It's
I do love Jack though.
yeah, okay, that's fine.
Jack may be the hardest worker in the small hall.
Yeah, love who you love, but it's pointless. I don't understand the point of it. Like, these people, you're scrunching your face.
How many
up.
beers did you drink while I was out of
You're
here?
scrunching your face up. This is like, honestly, he works hard. He works his arse off.
And he's a nice kid.
He's a nice enough guy. Doesn't mean nothing. to be the international challenge belt
I
champion.
can sort of see the attraction in a way of it. That is a nice belt. You've wanted to win a belt since you were a 10-year-old boy, and now you've got some sort of belt. For me, a challenge belt wouldn't be it, but
But let me just ask, if you won it,
right?
would you start posing with it with no clothes on? Would you start taking it out for food with you? Would you start wearing it everywhere you go? Like, the way that people conduct themselves with these titles, these should be building blocks. That's the way I see it.
I wouldn't pose naked with a British title, to be honest. So
Only a world title.
Only a world title. That's the rule. If you win a world title, you have to do a naked. Just for us two.
deal. I'll drive it.
Get naked in my conservatory
with a belt
bring
around
the
me.
world title. That's the deal.
Until 5 minutes.
Can this be a thing where every week you have a different tune?
Yeah, it must be.
It should be, yeah. So we had that Rocky one.
Yeah.
And now we've got, I mean, in the week David Hay retired. Man, there's things that's held us down. Just for the record, that is my ringtone.
That doesn't get old, that song.
It
It's
will
fucking
never get
brilliant.
old.
Brilliant.
For next week, can you do I Want It That Way?
You can't plan, Ramez.
Have you
alright?
seen that Brooklyn Nine-Nine scene that's popped up on Facebook?
No.
I'll show you after.
You listen. Big up David Hay, man. It's the right decision.
We
didn't know what to finish up on. That's all the questions done. There's been a lot of alcohol consumed.
Always.
Not by me.
Yeah, you put the tequila
Mashallah.
down. Listen, this
Eid Mubarak.
Eid
Eid Mubarak
Mubarak
to
yeah.
Ramez.
Thank you very
Eid
much.
Mubarak to all my brothers and
Big
sisters
up-
out there.
big up
Got
all
a lot of
Muslim
Muslim
families.
friends.
Damn right, bruv. Mate, I'm West London, bruv. I grew up with Muslim boys. Some of my best friends are Muslims.
I hope you all enjoyed the
Everyone, mate.
Eid. I hope you all enjoyed the iftar, saying the du'as, all that stuff. I know my shit, man.
I got a shisha pipe in the bar.
I don't know if that counts, mate.
I grew up on Edgware Road, bro. Ramez, I'm allowed, right?
Yeah, you're allowed. You're fine. You're one of us, Sam.
I'm one of their own.
Oh,
Listen, man, I grew up in Edgware Road, where it's a very, very big Arab community. So
That is.
it is what it is, mate.
Still a lot of good
I'm a man of the
watches there.
people. You know what I mean? Listen, we're gonna finish up just quickly. You're leaving us. You're moving back to Scotland in a month. It's a sad day, bro. It's a sad, sad day because the podcast will change. We haven't worked out exactly how. Richie Gray will be, he's a regular part of the pod now. So there's going to be times where it's me, Richie, and a guest. I am going to come and visit. Myself and the missus are going to come up. We'll do some pods up in Scotland. When future world champions like Ramez Mahmood are boxing, you'll come down. You can stay here with pod. So there's going to be occasions we're together, but this will be the last ever podcast where you live in London
Yeah.
and we just get hammered together on a Sunday and talk shit.
Do you know what? It's a bit surreal. The whole thing's been a bit surreal. So I've been trying to move up. For anyone that doesn't know, or anyone that cares, probably nobody.
Gavin Reese does.
Gavin Reese, you can find me G41. For anyone that doesn't know, my missus, I moved down here obviously 4 years ago. My missus a doctor.
Jesus Christ, he's punching.
Yeah.
She's gorgeous and a doctor,
should-
and
you
this
should
fucking
see her,
ugly
man.
bank
You should
managing
see her.
prick fucking landed on his feet, didn't
I
he?
say the word cunt a lot, so I guess obviously attractive. Yeah, man, and she got a job in January. Back in Glasgow, we're trying to move back home and make the most of the money and take the money home, buy houses, do all that stuff. And during the week, I was kind of struggling to get a job, man. During the week, I secured a job that I went for, which is cool. No one really cares. It's alright, but yeah, it's been a bit of a. Even though there's like 75% of stuff is really cool for going home, there's always like 25% of stuff that's not cool. And the biggest part of going home that's not cool is being able to go to shows, do the podcast, have a beer with Sam. Mainly just Sam. The other cunts are just internet personalities. You know what I mean? Nah, but it's true, man. Like, whenever we do these podcasts, for anyone that doesn't know, normally we'll go to a show on a Saturday night or a Friday night. I'll come back here, we'll get a couple of bagels, come back here, stay
Always
on
bagel
bagels, man. Always
bagel
bagels.
bake for
Yeah.
life.
Come back here straight afterwards, go to sleep on this little couch. It's I call it my room now. And wake up the next day, we'll get the guests come along, and Tyler Goodjohn, Linus Udolfi, or Ramez Mahmood, any of these guys, they come along and we wake up and we do the podcast, and then I shoot off home. It's like a 4-hour round trip for me to come here. I've done it sometime, like a lot of times on a Sunday. I've done it, and it's been beautiful, man. It's good fun, and I feel as though we've transitioned the podcast from something that was question and answer based to something that is conversational, likeable, controversial, which is alright. I'm not mad at that.
We throw the C word out there a lot, don't we?
We do it today, especially.
We'll put it in the title.
But it's I feel as though almost it's become a part of a community, if you like. A lot of people listen to it every week or every month or however often you listen to it, and we get a lot of feedback, we get a lot of questions, we get a lot of cool stuff going on, and for me, even though I'm really happy moving back home, I'm really sad because the most important thing about me being in London, or the thing that I most enjoyed, I feel most passionate about, is my involvement in the boxing community. Whether that's Ramez fighting on a show for a title, I'll 100% be there.
Thank you.
On my life, I'll be there. Dean Richardson, Linus Udofia, Dan Keenan, all these boys that fight on the small halls, I'll be there. I'll come down and I'll be there at the shows, because it's such a big part of me and what I do and how I spend my time. And you know, I do a lot of writing, but in terms of being there in the present, I feel as though a lot of people have transitioned from being boxers and athletes into being friends. And
100%.
And my man Sam is one of my closest friends, man. So it is a big change, but it'll be good, man. The hustle never stops.
Never. I mean, listen. At the end of the day, you'll be barred from most events in London soon
That's
enough
all right.
anyway. So
That's all right.
what really changes, you know? It's been a mad ride, bro. 18 months we've been working together. Listen, the website is still going to pop. You'll still do it. Look out for the Pink Tyson. Woo, it's coming.
Still doing bits.
The interviews.
Pink Tyson all day.
It's a good interview, man. Listen, the interviews on the website are still going to go off.
Waiting for that one.
We're going to work out what we're going to do with the pod. Listen, it's going to come together. It's going to work out, man. But you know, listen, 18 months working together fully, like it's been good, man. Like you've been there, we've been there, we've been through a lot. We changed tyres on the M11 at midnight.
That was a
we ate a lot of
that was a nightmare.
I once saved you from, like, I babysat you when you nearly died of alcohol poisoning after Isaac Chamberlain Acoli.
I tell you what, the Tyler Goodjohn podcast afterwards was banging.
Yeah, mate, we've been through some
But
shit.
Let's just put a little bit of perspective on it. So we talk a lot of shit, right? We do. We talk a lot of shit. We slag a lot of people off. We say a lot of things that could be deemed as derogatory or whatever else. Let me just point out a couple of things. Adam Barker, who we watched on the Joey Pyle show. So I know, like, he added me on Facebook, and he's an absolute gentleman. And I want to take a bit of time to say, Adam Barker, I know I think it's his daughter's going through some stuff just now, and I just want to take a couple of seconds to say I have the most fucking respect for someone that puts themselves on the line all the time, physically and mentally, to then have to battle that on their own as well. You know, from what I can gauge, you know, we don't know each other very well, but from what I can gauge, your daughter's on the mend, and God bless you and your family. Fucking people that we know that are raising money, crazy money for charity. Win-Win Kinga, Dr. Kin, Sam Khan, raising crazy money for charity. People that are doing all these things. We are not just here to slag people off, and even when I say the C-bomb, or we swear, or we call people this or that, you know, it's never about that, man. It's never all negative. One of the biggest things I wanted to put across is that it's easy to just do stuff that's 100% negative. It's easy to slag promoters, fighters, boxers, managers, and just be negative all the time. And you might get 150 people that listen every single week, but that number will dwindle because people don't feed
It's
off
also
negativity.
very easy to just talk about the positives.
Of course it is.
I tweeted that the other day, that people that aren't talking about the negatives in the sport that we love they're doing the sport a disservice. There's a lot of politics, there's a lot of bullshit, there's a lot of things that aren't right, but if you can't take the rough with the smooth, what's the point?
Yep.
If you're not going to bring them to the forefront, what's the point? You're just another number. You're just another outlet saying what you need to say to get a fucking press seat.
If we never, ever, 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 ever do a podcast again, and we never, ever, 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 was that the same amount of hours?
About the same.
Was it?
Roundabout.
If we never get a press seat again, I'll look back on the podcast and the work and the website and all the stuff that we've done and go, you know what? At least we were fucking honest about
At least
stuff.
we were here, man. At least we fucking.
At least
were
we was
real.
honest about stuff.
You didn't bend over backwards for anyone.
Yeah, man, and we can sit here and just release press releases all the time and stuff. We try not to do that. We try and come on here and be honest. And if you don't like it, in the words of Mike Tyson, if you don't like it, fuck you, turn off your station. So.
Didn't he then say pussy ass white boy, or was that a different interview?
I don't want to. I couldn't do that impression. My accent was a bit fucked. But
I'll fuck you till me love me, faggot.
I'll fuck you. But never forget, we'll be back here for some podcasts. I'll be back down for some shows. And listen, if I had to sum it up in like a few words, I'd probably say, Fight Talk ain't no stopping us now.
What a way to go! In the week David Hay retired. Is the week that we have a lot of changes coming.
All time, yeah.
Listen, ain't no stopping us now.
Much love. FightTalk.net,
you.
Fight Talk Podcast, Ramez Mahmood, Dean Richardson, Linus
The Mathmagician.
Every single one of them, Mathmagician. Do your math, stick in at school, Boogie Nights, ain't no stopping us now. Glasgow to the world, Essex, Brentwood, Harlow Town. Fuck Mickey Elliott, fuck Joey Pyle, and fuck you, Gavin Rees. Peace.